gentlemen, the NCAA and the American Athletic Conference promote good sportsmanship from student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We ask for your cooperation supporting today's participants in a positive manner. Please be aware that any profanity, racial, ethnic, sexist, or offensive comments or other intimidating actions directed at student athletes, coaches, and game officials will not be tolerated, and the grounds for immediate removal from spectrum field. Thank you. Your umpires for this game behind the plate, McGinnis, third, Meter, second base, Brady Slavens, and first, Burleson.
Welcome back into day one of the American Baseball Championships presented by the Air Force Reserve. Game 2 pits the regular season champion ECU Pirates against the 8th-seeded Shockers of Wichita State. Hi, everybody. Garrett Walbert, Jeff Brightwell, and Haley Otten with you here today. Earlier, UConn with a walk-off win against Houston. We've got a great game for you as well. Jeff, during the regular season, Wichita State won all 8 of their regular season series, and they boast 9 players on the all-conference squad. But Wichita State beat them in Game 2 in the regular season. They've got a chance to do just that, shock the champs today.
Shockers got a complete game from their starter today, and don't forget, Wichita State had to win a series at USF to get in this conference tournament. They're already in tournament mode.
We take a look at some keys to the game for these teams. And Wichita State earned that Game 1 win in the tournament last year. What are their keys to success today?
Don't do anything special. Make the plays you need to make, the routine plays. Be solid in the infield where you've been all year and play loose. You got nothing to lose. You're the number 8 seed.
East Carolina, the defending tournament champions, and the Pirates are looking to make a statement nationally this week in Clearwater.
Right now, they are in position potentially to get a national seed. They've locked up a host of site, so don't get out of the moment. Stay in your game. You don't need to be spectacular. You've done what you needed to do to put yourself in this position.
One of the players who will certainly get some pub this week is Luke Ritter of Wichita State. The senior has played in more than 200 games for Coach Butler.
A lot of experience on the infield. He hit .335 this year all conference, .526 in 5 neutral site games. We're at a neutral site this weekend. He hopes to continue that trend.
And for ECU, Alec Burleson is a talented two-way player for the Pirates, and he'll get the start on the mound today, too.
In fact, he made the all-conference team in the first and the second. First-team outfielder, second-team utility because of what he does here. 20 outings, 5-1, 51 strikeouts in 21 appearances, a dual-role player.
Game 2 of a 4-game day here in bright, sunny Clearwater, Florida. Beautiful day for baseball. Again, we had a walk-off win, and the Houston Cougars heading to the losers bracket. That's not something Coach Todd Whitting's team does very often. UConn and Jim Penders moving on. They won't play again until Thursday. Excited for this game. I think we have a chance to look at the starting lineups for these teams coming in for Wichita State, the 8th seed, and today's visiting team. It'll be Boyer, Ritter, and O'Brien to lead things off. And then in the middle of the order, the underclassmen, Wallace, Slavens, Kadena. They'll round it out with Segrist, Van Vuren, and Clayton McGinnis, who will pitch and hit in the bottom of the lineup.
Pretty solid. It's good for them. They've got Ritter right out there hitting second, so they'll get his bat involved very, very quickly. And here is Alec Burleson, who we talked about. 20 outings, 6 starts this year, 5-1, 3.18 ERA, 45 and a third innings, 39 hits, 16 runs all earned, 17 walks to 51 strikeouts. Opponents only hit .231, just 2 wild pitches and 7 hit batters. You saw him just briefly in relief in their series in May, and that's how they'll line up behind them. They've been pretty good at every aspect.
Let's set the defense. Washer behind the plate as he was last year in the conference tournament. Giles, Brown, Lloyd, and Brickhouse across the infield. Burleson on the bump with Packard, last year's player of the year in the American. Baker in center field, and Jenkins in right. East Carolina on the year hitting .292, great power numbers at the other end of the spectrum. Wichita State hitting .266, but a good team that earned their spot this past weekend. They're trying to ride that momentum, and we're ready to get Game 2 underway here. We'll start with a strike from Burleson. Leading things off, Jordan Boyer.
Wichita State, you mentioned won the 2 out of 3 at USF, won Game 1, lost a close one, 2-0 in Game 2, but came back 4 runs in the 9th inning to take that final game and earn their way just about 20 to 30 minutes over from Tampa.
Boyer, a .312 hitter in his senior season, leads the team with 14 doubles. Hits this one hard on the ground to Brown, over to first base in time. So a good quick start for Burleson, who has really done a nice job in conference play. Second pitch of the at-bat, hit hard on the ground but cleaned up easily. And Brown takes care of business there. He's an all-conference first-teamer again, is Burleson, this time as a utility. You know, whether he's in the outfield or whether he's on the hill, or a day like today where he's starting and hitting cleanup. How rare is that?
I haven't seen a guy like that since Brad Lincoln at Houston, be able to be a regular starter in the lineup and also a pitcher. And when you do pitch, you're still going to remain in there to hit.
Now the all-conference selection, Luke Ritter, just touched on him, also a senior. Starting his 199th career game today for the Shockers, a .335 hitter. This one gets away from the backstop Washer. And Ritter's quickly ahead. Ritter, another power hitter, 14 doubles, 2 triples, 9 home runs to lead this team.
Well, taking all the way there, nothing fancy from Burleson. Just wanted to throw that BP fastball, get a strike in there, and then see what Ritter can do now with the hitter's count.
Lined up on the back of the box, they'll waste that pitch. Burleson had that one get away from him, and now Wichita State has their first base runner.
Very rare walk this year for Burleson. He's been good, whether it's out of the pen or starting. Just his 18th walk of the year. Now in 45 2/3 of an inning.
Now the redshirt senior Mason O'Brien will come to the plate. 6 foot 205, Oklahoma native. O'Brien's got a chance to put one in play with a runner on first. Right down Broadway at 89 miles an hour by Burleson. Wichita State 26-29 on the year, 9 wins, 15 losses in league play. They secured the 8th and final spot this past weekend.
Came in the league a couple of years ago. They've got a rich baseball history. They're trying to make the transition to the American. The Missouri Valley, obviously a very good baseball conference. Trying to transition in here, maybe a little bit more travel than they were used to in the old Missouri Valley. But we've talked about the amount of World Series appearances, a national championship. Gene Stevenson here. Saw him in the team hotel the other day. May get a chance to catch up with him later this week.
Well, last year, you take a look at what they did in their first year in the tournament. They were 14 games over 500, 35-21. But they lost 14 letter winners, including 8 pitchers. So that's tough for anybody to rebuild. Burleson with that leg lift. Doesn't go to first, comes to the plate, and gets the strike. Count now 1-2.
Nice breaking ball over the outer half of the plate. Just the old 12-6 curveball. Nothing fancy. You don't see a ton of those anymore.
Coach Todd Butler for Wichita State, now in his 6th season. Burleson has this one hit on the ground. Could be 2, and miscommunication on the left side of the infield. Diving back in, make it sliding back in, safe. And now 2 on and 1 out, and what could have been a double play, instead nobody's out.
They had the shift on of Brown way up the middle and Giles over from third, and that's really got to frustrate Cliff Godwin. That's a double play there with the shift or not the shift. And as you mentioned, just miscommunication. Brown broke forward at first. Giles lunged to his left, and then Brown all of a sudden wants to break up to cover the bag. That's a play. That should have got you the 6-4-3 and out of the inning.
Now your cleanup man, Paxton Wallace, who's tied for the team lead with 9 home runs, steps into the very back of the batter's box. Burleson deals. Fastball right by him at 90 miles an hour.
Paxton, a sophomore out of Greenbrier, Arkansas. Big door roll guy. Last year, he played in 25 games, had 16 starts, also a couple appearances out of the bullpen. 281, very solid freshman campaign last year.
Burleson comes set with 2 men on behind him. This one's low and on the outside part of the plate, fouled back. Coach Butler's done a nice job of blending this mix of 16 freshmen, 9 sophomores, and they've navigated one of the toughest schedules in the country.
That's going to be tough for these American Conference teams the next 2 years, especially you look at the amount of freshmen in 2 seasons. It's going to be a really loaded team. Next year, I expect Wichita State probably is going to make a pretty significant jump.
Burleson ahead in the count. The 0-2. This one's hit up the middle. Could be 2 to get out of the inning. The throw over to first is in time.
Beautiful.
Burleson wriggles off the hook. 2 men left on. And ECU, the regular season conference champions, will come to the plate after turning the Twin Killing to start our ball game.
Opportunities present themselves every day. Opportunities that move us forward. Opportunities to serve part-time in your community. Explore your opportunities in the Air Force Reserve.
Strong in mind, strong in body, strong in school, sport, life.
The grind is 10% physical and 90% mental.
The mind is the power.
The body is the means to jump higher, run faster,
be smarter, and live longer.
There is no weakness when it comes to seeking help.
We are stronger together.
So let's talk about it.
A waterfall starts with 1 drop.
Change starts with 1 person.
The American is dedicated to ending the stigma related to mental health.
And promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
We welcome you back in. Scoreless, headed to the bottom of the first, and East Carolina coming to the plate. The Pirates lineup features 7 upperclassmen today. Packard, Baker, and Brickhouse, last year's tournament most outstanding player, lead things off. Burleson, the all-conference first-teamer, hitting cleanup and pitching. Turner Brown, Jake Washer, and Brady Lloyd will bring you through the bottom of the order, along with Chandler Jenkins and Ryder Giles. Starting pitcher today is Clayton McGinnis, the senior, who's 6-4 on the year.
Clayton McGinnis, 6-4, 4.12 ERA. He's done it in 17 outings, 9 starts, a complete game. More on that in a moment. 67 2/3 of an inning. 72 hits, 33 runs, 31 of those earned, 23 walks, 54 strikeouts. 270 average against, 5 wild pitches, and hit batters. Complete game, the 3-1 win over ECU on May 11th. He went 9 innings, 5 hits, a run it was earned, 1 hit, 1 run it was earned, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. So he's pitched well, and as we talked about in conference tournament for baseball and championship, McGinnis just needs to have 1 good outing.
Here's your defense for Wichita State. Slavens, Katzfee, and Van Voren in the outfield. Wallace, Boyer, Ritter, and Mason O'Brien, with Ross Cadena behind the plate. Wichita State on the year has committed 70 errors, fielding at 966. They'll have to be sharp today against an East Carolina offense that can spray it across all angles of the field.
And that's where Wichita State's got to step it up. 70 errors in just 55 games and that 966 fielding average. They've got to make the simple plays. Don't overthink things, because as you mentioned, ECU, it's not the 57 home runs that worry me, it's the 98 doubles they have.
Well, it was McGinnis who won the battle against ECU's Kuchmaner, their talented pitcher. This one's lifted high in the air, but it'll tail foul and get all the way out towards the shortstop snacks and bullpen grill. Here at Spectrum Field, 330 to the corners, 401 feet to straightaway center field with a padded wall. Over the years, we've seen plenty of plays trying to take back a home run. Always great effort here in Clearwater by these student athletes. Bryant Packard leads things off, looks at the 0-1, and won't take the bat off his shoulder. He's quickly behind in the count.
McGinnis doing what he needs to do, pound that strike zone early, get it ahead in the count, because when this ECU offense starts moving, it's hard to stop.
Packard, 361 hitter, 18 doubles on the year. Very nice follow-up to his Conference Player of the Year award in 2018. Has to protect here. This one's a little bit low by McGinnis. Well, ECU ran away with the league title. They won all 8 series and finished 20-4 in league play. And now for the second time, Cliff Godwin has been awarded the American Coach of the Year. I think what's really consistent and impressive about them, they were top 15 all season long. I mean, they knew about them coming in. They did nothing to lose their momentum. Now they're in a great position heading into the final week before NCAA regionals.
Well, he's got some experience. They lived up to expectation. They came off winning the conference tournament a year ago, so a lot of high hopes in Greenville. And they hope to make that next step. They've been looking to make the next step. They've been to several super regionals, hoping to be in a position, if they win the regional at home, to host the super this year and maybe make it to Omaha.
2-2, and we'll run the count full. There's some really special environments around college baseball. Keith LeClaire Stadium is one of them. Yeah. Absolutely. That place is rocking with purple and gold.
Well, when they win, even when they don't win, they have good crowds. I was there the final weekend of the season, and the crowds were back and in full force.
Here's McGinnis, and strikes out the top of the order. Packard is set down. Good start for the Shockers.
Well, after throwing the complete game, you want to come out and get a good start here for McGinnis. Establish the strike zone. Don't let them get early confidence. Coming off that one hitter and that one-run game earlier, to see a nice big swing there by Packard. If McGinnis can get a 1-2-3 inning and get a couple of shutout innings, then he really gets that confidence. He's not lost it. He keeps the confidence, and then things start creeping in the back of your mind. He wants to keep the momentum for the regular season series.
McGinnis listed at 6'1", 180, and that one gets away. That'll bring the count to 1-0 against the center fielder, Dusty Baker. Baker on the season, a junior, hitting .213. Just his 22nd start of the year. He's got 17 hits and 80 at-bats. McGinnis offers at this one. It's fouled back over the top. This is the 42nd consecutive conference tournament that Wichita State has qualified for. That's longer than I've been alive. That is just an incredible streak of consistency by the Shockers in their baseball program. They have played in 25 tournament title games and won 17 of them.
Well, they were those teams in the 80s, at least for myself growing up. You take a look at the Wichita States, the Miamis, the Mississippi States in the 80s when things really blew up on national TV with Omaha, and it became just the big event that it is now.
Baker looking in at the 2-1. He'll offer. Late on the fastball again. McGinnis hits 89 on the house radar gun.
McGinnis has been in and out of the starting rotation in the bullpen. He started out the year at 4-3. His last 4 outings, he's had 3 starts. He's gone 2-1, then a no decision. In the last 4 outings, he's not pitched under 7 innings.
This one finishes a little bit low. The all-time series between these two teams is just 7 games long. So the Shockers from Kansas, the Pirates from North Carolina, had not played before joining the American together. ECU has the all-time lead by a game, 4-3. Here's the payoff pitch from McGinnis. A late ring up, and Baker is punched out.
Nice slider into Baker. Baker may have thought he had the walk. I thought he had the corner very, very well. We'll get another look at it. Right at the knees. Pretty solid pitch there by McGinnis.
Back-to-back strikeouts to start the game for Clayton. And now Spencer Brickhouse, the left-hander, will come to the plate.
Brickhouse had the RBI lead all by himself before Burleson blew up over the weekend against Memphis, and now they share that RBI lead at 51.
Puts this one into the air. Chance for it to find the chairbacks, and it's out of play by about 3 rows.
Brickhouse, for a power hitter, very good at the plate as far as discipline. .339 to go along with those 12 home runs. More walks than strikeouts on the season.
Brickhouse hitting .339. Stands back in behind in the count. big reason why East Carolina left this tournament with a championship last year. The most outstanding player in Clearwater. Started 62 games last year. Now he evens up the count with nobody on and 2 outs. Stares in at McGinnis. Outside, and Brickhouse wants no part of that.
Imagine Spencer's going to have an eventful June to have the 60th best player in the country by College Baseball Daily heading into the season. He's lived up to the billing. You get a big left-hander, first baseman. He'll have a chance to go in the draft. We'll see how high it'll be opts to come back for his senior season.
An all-conference first teamer this year. Listed at 6'4", 235 pounds.
Well, you like his size you just mentioned. You also like his build. He carries those dimensions very well.
McGinnis has slowed things down up there. Now he has what he wants with the 2-2. Won't offer at that one. I'll say good eye at the plate considering the last 2 guys were struck out. Brickhouse hangs tough.
Well, Brickhouse able to work a little bit of a pitch count, a full count. And their hope for ECU against the guy that threw a one-hitter against them already this year is try to elevate that pitch count early in this ballgame.
All of the infielders back on the grass right now for the powerful hitting Brickhouse. McGinnis needs 1 pitch to get out of the inning. This one's lifted into the air, tailing foul, and it'll get out. Right now, the flags in right center field are blowing in at us. For the majority of the first game, they were kind of blowing out to left field. A couple of balls that were hit hard and got out of here in a hurry determined the outcome of our first game between UConn and Houston.
Latter third of the game, they began to shift. They were still going foul pole to foul pole, but right now, as you mentioned, just straight in from right.
McGinnis has run it up to 90 miles an hour. Hits 91 there, and it's fouled off by Brickhouse.
You can tell the power of a player a lot of times by the foul balls. He's waving to stay alive at these foul balls and putting them deep into foul territory.
You can look at Brickhouse's batting average of .339 and get a better respect for what ECU does offensively. He's only 4th on the team in batting average. Hanging tough here. They'll walk him. So a base runner for the Pirates here in the bottom of the first.
Spencer Brickhouse did a really nice job, worked the pitch count, got a couple of foul balls, so a lot of pitches, not only for him, but for the rest of his team. 42nd walk of the year here in his 51st game, and that's why he and Burleson are such a powerful 1-2 punch. They both kind of protect each other in the lineup.
Dangerous hitter coming to the plate in Alec Burleson, who's got 28 extra base hits in 2019. Burleson settles in with Brickhouse standing on first. Spencer has scored 50 runs this year, but has just 2 stolen bases. Breaking ball at the knees called strike 1. Our umpire crew today, Matt McKendry behind home plate, Scott Wilkerson at first, Grady Smith at second, and Matt Nieder at third. McGinnis checks the runner, deals to Burleson. It's low, and the count evens 1-1.
Talked about Brickhouse's number. You just mentioned the 2 stolen bases. That's really the only detriment right now in his game. Just not a big base stealer, but when you hit .339 and drive in 51, he's not out there to steal bases.
Yeah, nobody ever asked Mark McGuire to get loose on the base pass. Can't coach size, and he's got it. Here's the 1-1. Outside again. McGinnis, who struck out Packard and Baker to start the game, has given up the walk to Brickhouse, and now Burleson is ahead in the count.
Well, Burleson, just a sophomore. He'll be the guy preseason to watch next year. And one of the best in the country. He'll likely be on that preseason Golden Spikes list. And potentially your preseason player of the year in the American.
Offers it this one, hits it hard into left field. Going back is Slavens. It's off the wall. Brickhouse churning hard around third. He'll come home to score. And the pitcher, Alec Burleson, draws first blood with his bat. An RBI double into left field.
Burleson didn't need to do anything out of the ordinary there. He went with a pitch a little up and out of the zone, drives it to left field, and the ball still taking off to left. With that wind pushing in from right, it hung a little bit above belt high, just took it to the left side. Slavens, I don't think he thought it was going to carry the way it did. His first step was in, then he had to slam on the brakes. We talked about playing in a neutral site field. This is Slavens, a freshman, first time here in Clearwater. We see some upperclassmen they're used to playing this ballpark. Slavens is not.
Now Turner Brown comes to the plate with a man in scoring position. He's got 28 RBIs on the year and looks at ball one.
Turner Brown.
Cadena will call time and go out and talk with his pitcher.
Turner very, very steady at shortstop. He's been good at the plate this year, right at 300. Again, another guy that doesn't strike out a lot. Only 26 strikeouts this year in 56 games. He's going to spray it all over the field and very smooth and strong at short.
Well, it's very early, bottom of the first, but when ECU scores first, they're 30-4 on the year. Turner Brown, the senior, stands back in, left-handed bat, with 2 out and a man in scoring position. Won't offer at that one, and must have finished a little bit low to the home plate umpire's liking. Count goes to 2-0.
Burleson, another, or rather Brown. We talked about what he's done. A senior. We'll see what happens with him in June.
Offers at this one. He'll be late. 89 miles an hour, and it's fouled out long way down the third base line.
But players like Brown are the guys you need on teams. It's good to have your underclassmen, your juniors that are high draft prospects, but you need guys that can stick around. You cannot have enough experience. You have those 4-year players that hang on after their junior season. They've seen a lot of at-bats. They've seen Turner Brown a long time. Hold the team together. They can transition you between different junior groups.
Turner Brown had a red-hot regular season weekend against Wichita State. Went 4 for 5 in game 1. Takes a look at called strike 2. Brown against Wichita State in the regular season hit 700, went 7 of 10. Worst thing that can happen for Wichita State right now is for the inning to continue. McGinnis needs to find a way to hit the strike zone, get it past the bat of Brown, and get back to the dugout. 1 run already across. .89-mile-an-hour fastball is a little bit low. And now back-to-back batters with a full count.
Well, they're elevating the pitch count. That was the 30th pitch already the first inning, and a couple of 2-out runners have extended thing. He was very efficient with Packard and Baker, but has run into trouble with Brickhouse, Burleson, and now Brown has worked it full.
Burleson runs pretty well, standing off second base. Brown lifts this one into the air. Late on the fastball, it'll be foul.
This is kind of what we saw Burleson do. Extend the at-bat before he drove that double into left center field. Brickhouse did the same thing.
Turner Brown, one of 5 Pirates regulars hitting over 300 on the year. Brown has played in 225 career games for the Pirates. Full count, right into the mid of the second baseman, Ritter. But 1 run comes across to score on 1 hit, 1 left on. East Carolina leads it early here in the bottom of the first, 1-0. Nice little RBI double by the pitcher, Alec Burleson. He'll trot back out to the hill when we return here to Clearwater on the American Digital Network.
This is St. Pete Clearwater, home to Clearwater Beach. the #1 beach in the U.S. as chosen by travelers on TripAdvisor. It's not just white sand and Gulf breezes. Beach is an attitude. It's the vibe of whatever brings you joy. Experience the American tropics on Florida's Gulf Coast. Visit SafetyClearwater.com. Love the beach.
Birdie scores! 3 strikeouts in a row. Dominance for a 4th straight year. Hueso from 30! Unbelievable.
And be able to celebrate this type of championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
1-0, and you see Frenchies out in left field. Tiki Hut. For more on today's game, let's go down to the third member of our crew, Haley Outen.
Well, as mentioned, these two teams met just a couple of weeks ago where ECU was actually able to clinch the regular season series at Wichita. But before this game, Wichita State head coach Todd Butler said that he looks back at that series and says that it was 3 very close games, 3 very competitive games. But the stat that sticks out to him was that his team was 4 of 31 with runners in scoring position, and that his team really struggled that day to get the timely hit, something that they're hoping to have some better luck with here today.
You're 100% correct there. It was a competitive series. Sunday's game eventually ended up being 7-3. You see Coach Butler, 26 years in Division I, 11 players drafted, second most picks in all of college baseball. Very successful in his career. Lots of guys have gone to the major leagues that have had him as one of their mentors. His team here, though, has the tough task of trying to knock off #1. And in 5 years of American Conference play, it's happened 3 times, if you would believe that or not. East Carolina has actually turned that trick twice. So pretty impressive that in the short time frame, #1 has gone down 3 times to the lowest seed. Brady Slavens will lead things off. We apologize for mispronouncing the name a little bit earlier. Athletic play is made by the second baseman Lloyd. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Well, they're not 42-13 because they do one thing well, pitch or hit. They do everything well. Lloyd shows tremendous range. Nice spin move. That's the second spin move we've seen. Remember, Turner Brown had that nice little pirouette at second to turn that 4-6-3 double play an inning ago.
So Burleson gets the second inning started off well. Now he'll face the 6-hole hitter, Ross Cadena, the catcher for Wichita State.
Cadena, a year, played in just 19 games, had 12 starts, 261, 8 runs, had a double, drove in 8, a sophomore out of South Lake, Texas.
That's out of the Dallas area. Breaking ball, 81 miles an hour. And Cadena swings through it. That'll even the count 1-1.
So 12 starts a year ago, but Cadena inserted into the regular lineup. This guy's caught 52 games now today. This is his 51st start of the year. So a lot of innings behind the plate for Ross this year.
Sends one back up the middle. That one came off his bat like a Roman candle. Just looped into shallow center field. Cadena has a 1-out single.
Well, a nice job there with 1 out. Just drives it a little bit off to the right of center. They had Lloyd played a little bit up the middle, so if he had grounded it, they had him played correctly as far as the plane, but drives it in there. And now Wichita State a chance to even this thing up. If they can move Cadena around, it would be really big to get this answer back run.
Despite being the catcher, Cadena has scored 30 times this year, has a handful of steals. Now Jack Segrist will come to the plate. Segrist, one of 3 freshmen in the starting lineup today for the Shockers, fouls this one back at the plate.
Pretty good coming out of Plano, Texas, a 3-year letter winner at Plano West High School, the district MVP as a senior, where he hit .331, 8 doubles, a pair of homers, and 21 driven in. He was an Under Armour preseason All-American in high school.
Segrist settles into the very back of the batter's box with a man on. Burleson, the lefty, holding the runner close. He'll go over. Wind continues to blow in from right field, though the flag's just kind of lazily coming our way here in the press box at Spectrum Field. Not doing anybody a favor on offense. Pitcher with the wind at his back. Burleson has this one lifted high in the air to left field. Packard, though, will settle under it, and they'll send the runner back to first base. The ball not quite flying like it did in game one.
I was going to say, that's the difference from 2 hours ago when the wind was really gusting out to left and going right to left. He made good contact on this one, as you see, as he drives it to left field. Game one, especially around 9 to about 10:30 this morning, that thing shoots out of here in the bullpen.
Burleson, after giving up the single to Cadena, gets the fly ball out. Now Jacob Catsby, starting center fielder, stands in. Catsby, one of 3 left-handed batters in the starting lineup today. He's a junior, hitting .274. Runner takes off. Throw down by Washer. The ball beat him there, and the tag's applied. Wichita State gambles and runs themselves out of an inning. We'll go to the bottom of the second with East Carolina leading 1-0, and the Pirates coming to the plate here on the American Digital Network.
We all dream about our next vacation, but some of us turn those dreams into action. The bookers, the doers, they hit that confirmation button and let's goers. Because bookers know that the perfect place to stay is right there for the booking. Be a booker at Booking.com, the world's #1 choice for booking accommodations.
More than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American, powered by determination.
Bottom of the second inning, East Carolina and Wichita State here in Clearwater, Florida. Alec McGinnis back out, make it Clayton McGinnis back out for his second inning of work. The fans up under the overhang here at Spectrum Field. The sun still shining brightly as we approach 90 degrees. Great day for baseball so far, and we're ready to get underway.
Probably watching us on her telephone right now on her wireless device. Probably not, but we can always hope. A lot of people will stay under that shade in the afternoon games here as we sit at 1:49 in the afternoon in the lower 90s. Beautiful day, but the fans will try to stay cool and take advantage of that breeze. Big inning here for McGinnis. They elevated him to 31 first inning pitches.
He'll face 6, 7, 8 coming to the plate. Washer, Lloyd, and Jenkins. Jake Washer, the starting catcher for the Pirates, takes a look at called strike one.
Washer, one of those guys around the country, always going to be on that Johnny Bench award list. He was a semifinalist a year ago.
Definitely got some home run pop. Hit home runs in back-to-back games earlier this year. Hit a grand slam against North Carolina. Pretty good non-conference slate, and the wins have piled up. Just 13 losses on the year for East Carolina.
3 of those to the #1 team in the country at UCLA.
The 0-2. He powers this one high into the air in left field, and it'll get knocked down once again.
Well, Slavens in his first game here in Clearwater got turned around an inning ago on that double by Burleson, but able to take that first step back here and camp up onto this one.
Has the power at the plate to power those out, but Slavens will settle under it. And now Brady Lloyd will come to the plate, starting second baseman for the Pirates.
Mentioned that trip to UCLA back in mid-April, the 12th, and a doubleheader on the 13th. 3 close games. Unfortunately, they weren't able to bring out a win, but a 2-run game and a pair of 3-run games at the #1 team of the country. So it's kind of a win-win. If they'd have gotten a win, it would have been huge, but still, you talk about an RPI, a strength of schedule booster, and Cliff Godwin showing, hey, we're not afraid. We'll travel anywhere it takes to boost our resume.
Historically, that's a very tough place to win as well. Kind of a, I don't want to say cramped, but, you know, a ballpark that doesn't comfortably fit 2,500 people out there at Jackie Robinson Stadium. Seen some regional games out there in the past. That's way behind him, though. The season that the Pirates have had, though, has just been spectacular by all counts. Lloyd looking at a 1-1. Breaking ball busts him inside. Count goes to 2-1. Earlier yesterday, we found out that Jake Agnos was named the Americans' Pitcher of the Year. He set the conference single-season strikeout record with 124 Ks. Excited to see him later this week. Lloyd can't pull that one back. Count evens at 2.
Well, he set it against Memphis on Thursday night, also set the ECU record, and he's within striking distance. A start here, a regional start, if he gets another game, maybe to have the career strikeout record at East Carolina as well.
Fastball at 91 miles an hour. McGinnis really dialed that one up, and it's fouled back. Pretty talented player is Agnos, considering he's knocking on the door of the all-time strikeout leader, and he's a junior. We've had a lot of great players come through that program over the last 50 years. The 2-2. Hit right into the glove of McGinnis. Fields his position well. Flips to first for the second out of the inning.
Able just to stick that glove out to the right. Didn't have to knock it down or anything. Stuck in the palm of the glove. And now here is where McGinnis has to bear down, where he got in trouble an inning ago. Got back-to-back strikeouts to start the inning. But a 2-out freebie, the walk, is what came back to haunt him. Nice reaction there. He kind of moved off to the right side of the mound, but able to stretch those long arms out to the left side.
Now Chandler Jenkins, the right fielder, will step in. Left-handed bat. Jenkins on the year hitting 190. This is just his 4th start in 2019. He has made 30 appearances. Fastball paints the outside corner for called strike 1. McGinnis comes set and deals. And this time he misses, a little bit more elevated.
Chandler Jenkins, one of those guys who could step up. You mentioned hitting under the Mendoza line, a senior out of Lincoln Town, North Carolina. Grab a couple hits here in his career with a very, very high note with the Pirates.
This one's popped up on the infield, left side. Boyer's got a beat on it for the 3rd out of the inning. Clayton McGinnis, 1, 2, 3. Nice showing in the 2nd. We'll go to the top of the 3rd, and the Shockers are coming to the plate. We'll be back after this on the American Digital Network.
It's all right, huh?
NBA superstar.
Gatorade Zero. All the electrolytes, zero sugar. Get more out of zero.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle,
A big save, a clutch hit,
or a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
There is power in the sportsmanship that is displayed across the American.
Power is respecting opponents,
Officials,
student athletes,
Coaches and team representatives.
power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
Profanities or other improper actions while at the game.
The American.
Power for life.
The American. Power for life.
The American. Power for life.
Phillies complex here at Spectrum Field, the home of the American Baseball Championships for the last 6 seasons.
What a tradition they have with Philadelphia. We've talked about their great players, a pair of World Series championships in Philadelphia. Of course, I grew up as a child of the 80s on Mike Schmidt. And of course, they've had the recent history. Then you can go way back. All you have to do is look at the auxiliary fields over here in Richie Ashburn Field and several of the other great players, Hall of Famers, long history going back to 1883 in that Philadelphia Philly organization.
Some great contemporary names on that program as well nowadays. Aaron Nola, one of the premier pitchers in all of baseball. Here's Jacob Catsby to lead things off. The center fielder is quickly ahead in the count, 2-0. Burleson has scattered a pair of hits and stranded 2 on. Infield for ECU. Third baseman Giles is in on the grass. And now the count climbs to 3-0 for Catsby. Jacob hitting .274 in his junior season. Played in 52 games with 49 starts. And finally looks at called strike 1. He was ready to strut down to first base.
Catsby's got a hitter's count now. See if he can set the table. He's eliminated both leadoff men so far.
Called strike 2, and Burleson has come back here after falling behind 3-0. This is hit on the ground. Should be playable for Brickhouse. He'll take it unassisted for the first out of the inning.
Really like the way Burleson just goes about business on the mound. Not trying to be overpowering, plays his game. Got Catsby to roll over to 1 to first. Just a routine ground out, so he's done the most important thing. He's got out number 1. I see a lot of strike 1s from Burleson. I see a lot of out number 1s. Don't put the guys on base early.
David Van Voren will come to the plate now. Bottom of the order. In his rookie season in Wichita, hitting .253. .32 appearances, 23 starts, staring in at Burleson, the sophomore lefty. Won't offer at that one. Count evens up 1-1.
Did a nice job to go down to Bedford, Texas and get this freshman. A 4-year letter winner at Trinity High School. The Defensive Player of the Year and All-District honoree at shortstop. He hit .420 a year ago at 23 stolen bases.
Infield comes set. And he's worked himself ahead in the count. Always seems like we have so many freshmen that are able to make a splash in this conference tournament. And at the end of the year, sometimes you have an injury or two. You have to put a rookie in your lineup. Swings through this one. And the count evens at 2. 2 years ago, Anthony Prado with 10 hits for UConn. Take a closer look. He stays outside. Swung, got out in front of that one.
Yeah. Got him on that front foot. He was just off balance on the swing.
Burleson last year, of course. And a strikeout looking. First K of the game for Alec Burleson. And that's the way to start off. You've got 8 and 9 set down. Now the top of the order comes to the plate with nobody on.
Well, kept Van Voren off balance the entire at-bat. The pitch before where he lunged forward was out on the front foot by the time he got the swing off. That time he just jammed him on the inside. So 2 up, 2 away here. 3 in a row retired, and now 5 of the last 6 set down by Burleson.
Now Jordan Boyer comes to the plate, trying to set the table. Grounded out to the shortstop. Swings through that one. Breaking ball by Burleson had some nice life. The left-hander had that one run away from the right-hander. Burleson's made just 6 starts on the hill this year. His record is 5-1. He also has 14 relief appearances. ERA at 3.1.
One of the relief appearances made 12, went 2/3 of an inning, a hit, no runs, no walks. He struck out 1. Just pitched briefly in that series against Wichita State.
Boyer smashes this one into left field. It'll drop, and he's got a 2-out single. Boyer's thinking about 2, makes a big turn at first, and he'll put on the brakes.
No real harm done there. He got the first 2 outs, which he needed to do. Boyer, an innocent single. Now you just go back to work. Going to be a tough out here, though, against Luke Ritter, who walked back in the first, just as you mentioned, smacked it. They had him played in the alleys guarding against an extra base hit.
Ritter, an all-conference first-teamer, will come to the plate with 2 out and 1 on. Ritter drew a walk. He's hitting .335 on the year. .44 runs scored, 70 hits. Stares in against Burleson. We'll take the 1-0, and he gets under the glove of Washer. That'll put a man in scoring position for Luke Ritter. Your RBI leader with 37 on the season now has a chance with a man on second.
Well, second year in a row, Luke Ritter's been all conference a season ago. He was first team into the American after 55 games. This is the first team this year as the utility player inside the league. Now has an RBI opportunity. So the innocent 2-out single could quickly turn into the tying run.
Burleson and Washer may have gotten their signals mixed up on that last pitch. Threw it inside. Nice break on that offering. But it misses the zone at 77 miles an hour. And with first base open, not sure how much Ritter's going to see to hit here.
A first 3-0 count that I can remember early in this game by Burleson.
Ritter's drawn a team high 31 walks. Too far off the plate, and they'll take the bat out of his hands and send him down. 2 walks in a row for Luke Ritter.
2 in the game for Ritter. That sets up a scoring opportunity still now for Mason O'Brien. O'Brien, the first baseman. 8 doubles so far in this year. Needs just a single here to tie this ball game up. That would be huge. I didn't know if they made green light Ritter or not, but that ball too far out of the zone, even if they would have given their all-conference selection the green light on 3-0.
Ritter's going to be able to have a nice lead at first base. They won't hold him on. The infield more interested in trying to stop whatever O'Brien chops at them. Burleson's first offering is low. Washer blocks that one.
It was Mason O'Brien who dribbled one through the infield. Hit it well, but that's when they had Brown played up the middle on the shift. And he and Giles kind of miscommunicated on what could have been a double play. ECU, it worked out for them. Paxton Wallace came up the next batter and hit into the 4-6-3.
.281 hitter pops this one up. Washer can't find it with the sun, but it'll be off the top of the roof above our heads.
Went after one a little bit out of the zone that time. That would have been the 6th straight ball thrown by Burleson had O'Brien not gone after it.
Burleson has driven in the game's only run. Now back up on the hill, trying to get out of the inning. Here's the 1-1. Didn't miss by much, and the count goes to 2-1.
No, he came back with that 12-6 breaking ball, hung it right there at the letters. At first, I thought it was going to get up under the letters, but must have just stayed high.
Burleson named a semifinalist for the John Olerud Two-Way Player of the Year in college baseball. Burleson checks the runner. They both take off. The throw down by Washer will wait. Now 2 men, both in scoring position. A little aggressive play on the base pass by Coach Butler's team. Let's see if they can make them pay here with a 3-1 count.
I like the call. We talked about they have nothing to lose. Let it all hang out. They won that 2-3 at USF to get here. They're already kind of in tournament mode. Got to take some chances if you're going to pull up an 8-1 upset on day number 1.
After they've already been caught stealing once. Pretty impressive. Now Mason O'Brien with 2 in scoring position. Trying to turn this game around. He's got a hitter's count. Offers at this one, but he's late. 90 miles an hour on the fastball by Burleson. They're just not giving him a lot to drive.
You mentioned the John Olerud Award. Still one of the best baseball stories. One of the best Ricky Henderson stories ever. They were playing together. I believe it was back with the Mets. He goes, I used to play with a guy in Toronto who wore a helmet at first base. Johnny, yeah, it was me.
Gotta love people that refer to themselves in third person. Snap throw back to second. You think now that he's retired, Ricky Henderson continues to refer to himself as Ricky?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Why would you stop?
Probably said, hey, John, Ricky played with a guy that wore a helmet back in Toronto. I would be disappointed if he didn't.
Burleson comes set. Big moment in the ballgame early on. Boyer off third. Ritter off second. And it gets away from Washer. Bounces off the backstop, and we're tied up. We'll see if they call it a wild pitch or a pass ball, but regardless, we're knotted at 1 now, and coming around to score is Boyer.
Well, if it's a wild pitch, it's going to be the second one of the inning. They advanced a runner to second earlier in the inning when Boyer went.
That's got to be a wild pitch, a one-hop to the catcher that just got away from him.
So a pair of wild pitches in the inning, and unfortunately Burleson talked about the first 2 innings, gave up a couple hits, only the 1 free base in the walk, but you look in this inning, 2-out walk already, 2 wild pitches, 3 free bases have led to the run. You got to take advantage of it. Wichita State did that, and now they don't need anything hard hit here. Just dribble a single through the infield. They can bring Ritter in, and all of a sudden your 8 seed's got an early 2-1 advantage.
Ritter moved up on the wild pitch. Now standing 90 feet away for Paxton Wallace, who will come to the plate. Wallace grounded into a double play to end the first inning. But as Jeff said, anything through the infield is going to easily score Ritter. That double steal immediately pays dividends for Coach Butler's team. Wallace won't offer at that one. Now Burleson not quite as fine. Nearing 50 pitches here in the top of the third.
Another one of these young guys, 54th game, 54th start of year this year. Season ago as a freshman, he got a lot of experience, 25 games and 16 starts.
Wallace has 34 RBIs on the year. Takes a look at called strike 1. Wallace is an Arkansas native by way of Greenbrier, 6'1", 215 pounds in his sophomore year. Big hack from the right side. Count goes to 1-2.
Guy that could develop into a dual role player for them in his junior and senior seasons. A year ago, he made a couple of relief appearances. This year, didn't pitch, just stayed on offense, but still has that potential in the future.
Runners on the corners. Burleson deals. Got him, struck him out. They'll have to throw down to first. Washer acted like he tagged him. Instead, he'll throw down and finish the inning, but not before 1 run comes across to score on 1 hit. 2 left on. We're brand new, headed to the bottom of the third, tied up at 1 apiece between the 8 and the 1 seed, ECU and Wichita State.
This is St. Pete Clearwater, home to 35 miles of white sand bliss. But it's more than emerald surf and Gulf breezes. Beach is an attitude. It's the vibe of life, nature, art, music, or whatever brings you joy. Experience the American tropics on Florida's Gulf Coast in St. Pete Clearwater. Love the beach.
Bernie scores! 3 strikeouts in a row. Dominance for a 4th straight year. Hueso from 30! Unbelievable.
And be able to celebrate this type of championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
.210 on the eastern seaboard, 93 sunny degrees here at Spectrum Field. And we're tied up at 1 apiece between East Carolina and Wichita State. ECU coach Cliff Godwin, the 2019 Conference Coach of the Year, won the regular season title with a 20-4 record, won all 8 series. Pretty impressive run by his squad. And Coach Godwin's been very successful when he was an assistant coach as well. He helped Ole Miss end a 40-year drought in Omaha, helped them advance to the World Series in 2014. He helped bring LSU back to prominence. The Tigers won 23 games in a row in 2008, and they returned to Omaha. And 5 years as the skipper in Greenville have produced 3 league championships and 3 trips to the NCAA regionals. First pitch swinging by Ryder Giles. High hopper to the shortstop. The dig is made. I think it was in time. Great defense there by the Shockers on the left side of the infield.
Well, excellent play and a great dig. That play doesn't get completed without that dig over at first base. Good job by O'Brien. Let's take another look here. Boyer had to range way to his right on that high hop off the hard pan. Not only the high hop, off to his right, off balance. O'Brien, nice pick.
Now Bryant Packard will come to the plate. Packard, the leading hitter at .361 to lead it off.
Now, the impressive thing that Cliff did this year, you remember a season ago, he lost 3 draft picks. A 5th rounder, 11th rounder, a 20th rounder. Remember Dwayne Williams Sutton, their outfielder. Chris Holbar, right-handed pitcher. Connor Litton, a third baseman. Padres, Cardinals, Phillies, respectively. Lose 3 picks that way and to come back here and do what he did this season is incredible.
Great diving stab. First base side, taking it all the way is O'Brien. Some Gold Star defensive plays by Wichita State here in the bottom of the 3rd, and there's quickly 2 outs.
Well, a dig at first, and now a great play to his left. And who says the first baseman can't play defense, showing nice range. And he said, look, I dove for this ball. I'll just take it myself.
Now Dusty Baker coming to the plate. There's Coach Godwin working the third base side with his team on offense. Baker comes to the plate with 2 outs and nobody on. Dusty struck out looking in the middle of the 1st. Breaking ball slices across from McGinnis, called strike 1.
Nice way to start him out on the inside portion of the plate. Good take by Baker. He would not have been able to do anything with that one, just roll it off the handle.
Second offering, down in the dirt, swung through the breaking ball.
Baker started 65 of 148 career games. Another experienced player for the Pirates.
Late on the fastball. McGinnis is offering 88 miles an hour. And now he's a pitch away from getting out of the inning. Baker listed at 5'10", 180, a junior from Georgia. Stares in intently at McGinnis. Breaking ball, just got a piece of it and tops it foul, first base side. One thing that we have not seen come into play yet, though it is active, is review in this year's tournament. The umpiring crew is able to go down to the third base side if a call is questioned either by them or by one of the 2 challenges that each opposing coach is afforded now. Can't imagine we'll get through the entire week without seeing that. Back-to-back appearances, and Baker strikes out looking for the 2nd time today. 1-2-3 for Alec McGinnis. And now Wichita State will come back to the plate. Scored 1 to tie it. Can they go on top in the top of the 4th?
There's a lot to do out there. You can either talk about it or you can do something about it. At ECU, we choose to do things. And we can help you do just about anything. Come here to keep hometowns thriving, hearts beating, or make waves across the world. Wherever you're headed, this ship can get you there. With 30,000 of us doing so much, you won't find anyone sitting around. You ready?
1 run on 3 hits for Wichita State. 1 run on 1 hit. No errors committed by either ball club here as we start the 4th inning at Spectrum Field. Sun beating down here on the Gulf Coast of the Sunshine State. Alec Burleson back out for his 4th inning of work. The crafty left-hander has shown a nice fastball, Worked a couple of strikeouts with his breaking ball. And coming to the plate here will be the middle of the order for the Shockers.
He's been solid. The only trouble he got into was an inning ago. A couple of wild pitches, I think, hurt him more than the 2 walks hurt him.
Wichita State has been very aggressive early on the base paths. Brady Slavens will take a look at this one. Fastball is high, 90 miles an hour. Slavens grounded out to the second baseman, back to start the second inning.
Well, to start off the 4th, all things even, both McGinnis and Burleson sitting at 50 pitches through 3 innings. Of course, Burleson had the high pitch count in the 3rd. McGinnis had the high pitch count back in the 1st. McGinnis threw 31 pitches in the 1st inning, only 19 over the last 2.
The 1-0 to Slavens is called strike 1. Brady in the 5-hole, the freshman hitting .226. As a rookie, he's appeared in 42 games for the Shockers. This one came up on him. He tries to lift the bat to it. Popped up out of play. Count goes to 1-2.
And that's going to be a tough play to make for Washer or Cadena or any of the catchers early in game number 2. At this time of the day, that sun's starting to make its way behind the ballpark. So if a catcher looks up for a pop-up behind the plate, they're going to be looking directly into the sun.
Breaking ball. They thought they'd get the ring up there. Pirate fans not happy with the outcome. Count goes to 3-2 now.
Washer tried to frame it up a little bit, but nothing too long to show up the umpire.
Fastball pounds him inside and he loses him. Thought he had the strikeout. Instead, there's a runner on with nobody out.
And that's the first leadoff man to reach against Burleson in the ball game. All the damage has been done to Burleson after 2 outs an inning ago. A couple of 1-out runners in the 1st and the 2nd. First leadoff man, and again, that's going to be the 3rd walk now. The last 4 batters given up by Burleson.
4th walk total surrendered so far in 3+ innings of work. A runner on. Slavens, the left fielder, has 4 stolen bases on the year. He's been caught once. Now Ross Cadena will come to the plate. Cadena has driven in 22 runs on the season, hitting .250. Throw over to first base, not in time. Entering the American Athletic Conference Championship, Wichita State has the 39th toughest schedule in all of D1 baseball. They played a combined 21 games against opponents that are ranked in the top 50 in RPI and 41 games in the top 100. East Carolina, a top 10, as high as top 5 in the RPI. Tries to square a bunt and fouls that one back.
Well, this is one thing Wichita State, not their game. It's only 7 sack bunts the entire season as a team, and Cadena is the co-leader with Catsby. They've got 2 sack bunts on the year.
Giles over at third base for East Carolina, getting in on the grass. Infielders come set. Squaring to bunt again is Cadena. He'll keep it out there and fouls it at the plate again. You see him raise his head in disbelief. Can't believe he didn't put that one in play. Slavens over on first base is ready to take off.
And my gut tells me with only 7 sack bunts to the team, you're not going to risk a 2-strike bunt, but who knows?
Burleson comes set, trying to hold the runner close on first. The 0-2, little snap throw over. Cadena will settle back into the plate behind in the count 0-2. With a runner on and nobody out, Wichita State trying to generate some offense here against Burleson, the all-conference selection. Puts this one on the ground right side, looking for 2. The throw over to first won't be in time, but a nice play defensively by ECU. That'll cut down the lead runner.
It's a tough double play to try to make. It was a nice job by Brickhouse. Solid throw, but then you got to rely either your first baseman's going to have room to get back or your pitcher over there on time. And a little bit too much speed down the first base line, but good job by Brickhouse there. Gets the lead runner. Doesn't allow anyone to get into scoring position as Slavens is erased.
Burleson looks into his third base dugout. Now he has what he wants and gets back on the bump. Jack Segrist, the DH, will come to the plate. Segrist batting out of the 7-hole, flew out to left field back in the second inning. That ended the frame. He'll take this one. Called strike one. Segrist, a freshman, hitting .240 coming into the tournament. Has 3 doubles, no other major power numbers. If you can put this one in play, though, maybe get a couple of things moving, he'll flip over the lineup. This one's hit hard through the side into left field. He's got his first hit of the tournament. Cadena puts on the brakes at second base and steps back in.
Hard hit ball, well hit through the left side of the infield. No shot for Giles or Brown. Second inning in a row. Wichita State has something working. All 3 Shockers have reached base, just 1 out on the base. Hung it out over there and just laced it through the left side. So a golden opportunity here if Catsby can come through, or at least stay out of double play and set it up for Van Voren for the Shockers to take a 2-1 advantage.
So 2 on and 1 out. 4th hit of the ball game for the Shockers against Burleson, and now a right-hander is up in the pen for the Pirates. Catsby comes to the plate, grounded out to the first baseman in the 3rd inning. Another left-handed bat. Squares to bunt and just chops this one foul at the plate. That'll be Gavin Williams, the right-hander, getting warm. Sophomore. Burleson certainly, as a pitcher, has the talent to get out of trouble here. But he's got to be pretty precise. This one's lifted into the air. Packard will give chase, but it'll be foul by about 15 rows into the chairbacks.
Catsby down. Really now has the fight up there. Down 0-2 in the count. Probably going to see a couple of waste pitches at the very least. Wants to some way at least get Cadena over to third base.
Giles at third, not expecting the bunt now. Everybody back pretty deep in the infield. Burleson's breaking ball hit on the ground. This could be 2. And the pickup is not clean by Lloyd. Coming around to score is Cadena. The play at the plate. They got him. A bouncer got away from Lloyd at second, but he recovers just in time to fire a dart home and cut down the runner. We'll remain tied.
Don't mind the call. You're the 8 seed. You're trying to make something happen. You've got to rely on Lloyd to go back for a ball that went between his legs to be able to turn and make a perfect throw. A little one-hopper, and Washer did a nice job to make the pickup. Right there, scoots between the legs. The good thing that Lloyd did is he kept an eye on the runner. When the ball went through his legs, you saw him look immediately to his left to see if they may send him. No slowdown, and Washer waiting with the ball for Ross Cadena.
Well, all 4 of our umpiring crew are meeting just to the right of the mound right now. I think the only thing they could be talking about is whether the tag was applied at home. You saw the ball get away from the second baseman. I believe they might jog over, and we'll have our first official review here at the 2019 American Baseball Championships. Jeff, there are a couple of things that can be reviewed through the first 8 innings of the game. It changes a little bit later on in the game when, of course, the game is in jeopardy.
Reviewable calls in the first 6 innings, and a crew chief can initiate this review. A team, as you mentioned, has a couple of challenges. Fair foul ball calls, specified fair foul ball calls, potential home runs, catch plays in the outfield and in the infield, spectator interference, which we hope we have none of this week, and usually always our crowd has been very good, and scoring plays at the plate, including collisions. This one, obviously no collision. They want to check on, I believe, as you said, the potential tag. The ball was there in plenty of time. Did he get his hand around a tag?
Let's explain it to the viewers. I believe that it's our production crew that's actually showing replays to the officials right now. That's why you're not seeing one. You'll obviously get a chance to see this again in real time. He is out at home plate. So the call stands, and we remain tied. Here's a better look, Jeff. Take us through it.
Well, there we go. Again, I said that Lloyd took that quick glance, and that was a good job by him after committing the error. Tried to slide around the tag. Just got it. He nearly got it under that left shin guard at the knee. Good job by our guys at the American Digital Network, all of our camera operators, and nice to be able to provide that review.
I think you're right. I think Cadina's outstretched hand ran into the shin guard of Washer, and that was the second out of the inning. So now the bottom of the order, David Van Voren will come to the plate. Still 2 on, and a runner on second base. This one's fouled at the plate. 88 miles an hour by Burleson.
But I still like the call to send the runner. Gets through the legs. Lloyd has to make that great play to get the out. Only 2 outs in this inning have been made on the bags. All 4 Shockers have reached base at the plate.
Seager standing on second. Catsby off first. Van Voren, who struck out looking in the third, stands in the box. Offers at the 0-1. Popped up on the infield. Burleson thinks he's got a beat on it. Calls off Washer, and that's the third out of the inning. Said he had enough talent to get out of trouble, and he did. Burleson has gone 4 innings and allowed just 1 run. Shuts out the Shockers there in the top of the 4th. And makes a pretty athletic play there in foul territory. We'll come back for the bottom of the 4th with the Pirates and their red-hot offense coming to the plate here on the American Digital Network.
Opportunities present themselves every day. Opportunities that move us forward. Opportunities to serve part-time in your community. Explore your opportunities in the Air Force Reserve.
Strong in mind, strong in body, strong in school, sport, life.
The grind is 10% physical and 90% mental.
The mind is the power.
The body is a means to jump higher, run faster,
be smarter, and live longer.
There is no weakness when it comes to seeking help.
We are stronger together.
So let's talk about it.
A waterfall starts with 1 drop.
Change starts with 1 person.
The American is dedicated to ending the stigma related to mental health.
And promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
1-1, bottom of the 4th. ECU, the regular season champion and defending tournament champions, come to the plate here against Alec McGinnis. McGinnis went the distance against them, a 3-1 win over number 8 ECU back on May 11th. That was senior day at X Stadium. He pitched the full 9 innings, allowed 1 earned run on 5 hits, 4 strikeouts, 103 total pitches, and lifted the Shockers to their first victory over a top 10 opponent since 2014. Got to feel good about where his team has put him so far. Incredible defense by the Shockers early on some hard hit balls by the Pirates. He's allowed just 1 run on 1 hit. He'll start things off against last year's tournament most outstanding player, Spencer Brickhouse. Spencer fouls 1 back.
Just like Burleson, McGinnis begins this inning with 50 pitches. Burleson got into some trouble but got out of it with the shutout inning. Now this is going to be the second time through the heart of the order for McGinnis. You think if he can get through 3, 4, and 5 here, you're looking at hopefully getting 6, at least for Wichita State, 6, maybe 7 out of him.
79 miles an hour. Brickhouse out in front of it. Alec has set down 7 in a row since giving up the RBI double to Alec Burleson. McGinnis stares in at Brickhouse. Outside corner, can't get the call. He has struck out 3, including a pair looking.
Again, he continues to do the important thing. I like his pitch sequence. He gets the most important pitch most of the time, and that's strike 1.
The pitch to Cadena. Off the end of the bat, foul. East Carolina with a convincing win in the title game last season against UConn. Brickhouse was a huge part of that. They set up inside, pulls it foul off the tarp right field side.
Well, they'll want Brickhouse to get going this week if they want to do if they want to accomplish what their goal is. Not just winning the conference title, but securing that national seed. Brickhouse, 32 career home runs. They'll need him to play well. I mean, they're stacked up and down the lineup, but you want your best player putting his best foot forward.
Clayton McGinnis comes set, ahead in the count, 1-2. This one's just sliced foul. That'll head towards the operating offices of the Phillies. Well, our count will hang 1-2. In last year's tournament, ECU doubled up UCF in their opener 8-4. They edged Tulane 6-5 and then played back-to-back games against the Houston Cougars. They lost 5-3 in game 1, and then they run-ruled Houston 12-1, only played 7 innings to get to the title game. Here's one pulled. Foul over the top of the base. Picked up cleanly by O'Brien, who's showing a nice glove out there over on the right side of the infield. And then in the championship game, they got up, stayed up 4-3, and beat Connecticut.
The old rare Saturday championship game a year ago with the rain, but they got them all in.
This one's hit hard. Another opportunity for O'Brien. Fields it cleanly. Continues to take these things unassisted on the right side of the infield. So the leadoff man is not aboard. Brickhouse will head back, and Alec Burleson will come to the plate.
Well, he has now scored in 4 of the last 6 defensive plays. O'Brien has over at first. Another nice pickup. Had that nice diving play against Packard an inning ago to secure the second out of the inning. Then made that nice dig also against Giles on that 6-3 ground out.
If you're Burleson, I guess you never really have to worry about getting cold on the bench when you're hitting cleanup. Swings at this offering, 81 miles an hour, and it's skied behind the shortstop. Boyer fields off the sun and makes the catch. Made that look a lot easier than it was. 2 outs now for Clayton McGinnis.
Well, it's the bonus for Alec, pitching and hitting in that 4 spot, being an outfielder. How many times do you see a team have a big inning or just a stretched out inning for 30 minutes of offense, and the pitcher has to sit over there and wait it out, doesn't go to the bullpen, and they come out cold, the team jumps back into it. They have a big inning. Burleson's going to get a plate appearance somewhere in there.
Now Turner Brown. Shortstop takes a look at ball 1. Brown had a liner to the second baseman in the first. That ended the inning. Spencer Brickhouse has scored East Carolina's only run of the game. He drew a walk, and Alec Burleson doubled him in off the left field wall. That was in the first. McGinnis has really bared down since then. Retired 8 in a row, but he's fallen behind in the count here to Brown, 2-0.
Well, he's been getting ahead here, so we'll see what he does. Remember the first inning, he was 2-out trouble. He got the first 2 strikeouts. Innocent enough 2-out walk, but then that double to left field. It always seems it's the 2-out walks that come back to burn you the most.
Infield comes set. That one's at the knees, and it's called strike 1. Just over 60 pitches now for Clayton McGinnis, who's feeling pretty good through the middle of this ball game. Turner Brown, who came in hitting an even 300, ahead in the count. Sends this one into center field, right up the middle. And that's just the second hit of the ball game for the Pirates, but they will take it with a man aboard and 2 outs.
First hit and first base runner since Alec Burleson's RBI double in the first inning. Take a look as McGinnis just put it right down the middle. Easy single, rolls to the middle of the infield, and that sets something up for Washer here with a pair of outs.
So Washer will come to the plate for the Pirates. Flew out to left field to start the second. Still a dangerous bat, though. Thought when it came off the bat it had a chance to get out of the ballpark. Got to check the runner on first. Washer holds back, and it's called strike 1.
Washer's got 10 stolen bases. If you want to make something happen with a runner out runner on and a pair of outs. We'll see if Billy Gowan maybe puts these guys in motion, a little bit of a hit and run.
Washer only played in 12 games with 5 starts as a freshman in 2017. Redshirted as kind of a bullpen catcher in 2016, so he's a redshirt 4-year player. Last year, a Johnny Bench Award semifinalist. Played again, Sam. Same thing in 2019. Guy has been a vital part of the success of ECU for the last 3 seasons. The 1-1, and now he's behind in the count.
They've got a chance to pitch out on a 1-2 count. I'll be interested to see if Cliff Godwin the rest of the game tries to take advantage of Cadena behind the plate. He's thrown out 12 runners, but that's in 84 attempts this season.
Brown will head back to first base. McGinnis came off the rubber. Chance to keep things moving here with 2 outs and a man on. Into the glove of the second baseman, Ritter. The all-conference first-teamer had that ball come up on him like a red-hot Corvette, but he got his glove up in time and maybe saved a run. That thing was headed for the gap. We remain tied through 4 innings. Top of the 5th when we return. Wichita State coming to the plate. You're listening to the American Digital Network.
This is St. Pete Clearwater, home to Clearwater Beach, the #1 beach in the U.S. as chosen by travelers on TripAdvisor. It's not just white sand and Gulf breezes. Beach is an attitude. It's the vibe of whatever brings you joy. Experience the American tropics on Florida's Gulf Coast. Visit stpclearwater.com. Love the beach.
Bernie scores! 3 strikeouts in a row. Dominance for a 4th straight year. Hueso from 30! Unbelievable.
And be able to celebrate this type of championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
We welcome you back in. A live look at Wichita State's dugout. They have shut out the ECU offense for 3 innings in a row. They tied it up with a run in the 3rd, and now they'll come back to the plate against Alec Burleson, the pitcher for ECU, who's entering his 5th inning of work.
They've got to feel really good about McGinnis. 31 pitches in the 1st inning. He's thrown 35 since over the last 3. He's settled things down. He's gotten back into a rhythm. They've got to be thinking here at 66 pitches after that 1st inning, they can still get, 6, maybe 7 innings out of him after he threw that complete game against ECU in the win in the series in the middle of May.
Top of the order for the Shockers to lead things off here in the 5th inning. Boyer, Ritter, and O'Brien.
Well, the Shocker offense should have a little bit of confidence. They've just got the 1 run, but over the last 2 innings, 7 of the Shockers have reached base. They've had some outs on the bases, the play at the plate, force out on a 3-6 ground out by Cadena, but they've been putting the guys on base. They just need to get that big RBI opportunity and take advantage of it.
Burleson's ready to work now. Stares in at Boyer, who has singled and scored a run. That was back in the 3rd inning. Today's 1 for 2. Pretty looping breaking ball by Burleson is called strike 1. Had a hot shot into left field, stole a base on a double steal, and eventually came around to score on what was a wild pitch by Burleson. That one had some zip on it, but it gets away from the catcher, Washer.
Held that grip a little bit too tight, overthrew on that one. Just pulled it down a little bit too much. That's why it pounded down in the dirt.
Nice pitch by Burleson there. Took a little something off of it. And Boyer was way in front of it.
Well, he's worked mostly off-speed stuff here to start out Boyer. The only ball he threw is going to be that hard slider that went into the dirt. See if he tries to jam him in on a fastball.
The 1-2. This one's headed for the gap. Running over is Jenkins. He'll make the catch. Wynn might have knocked that one down. Made it available for Jenkins to come get off the end of the bat.
I think he wanted to come in. He left it about belt high, a little over the plate. Boyer hit it hard, just able to send it to right field. Jenkins had it played perfectly.
Ritter, who made the last out to get out of the 4th inning, will come to the plate. Nice defensive play. He's been walked twice today. I'm sure it's a welcome sight to have a fastball cruise by for called strike 1.
I was going to say they stayed away from him for the most part. A pair of walks. Haven't let him get that bat going. Be a good time to challenge him now. You've got nobody on. 1 away in the inning. Chance to challenge an all-conference infielder.
Batting average sits at .335 on the year. Outside part of the plate. Can't get out to it. Count now 1-2. Burleson won't challenge him there, and the count evens up at 2-2.
Solid waste pitch there, not too far out, but Ritter too much experience to chase after that ball.
That one's fouled at the plate. Ritter had 27 hits in conference play, also led the team in batting average there. Very nice season for the senior. Looking to get on base here for the 3rd time today, and he'll do so. This one could be for extra bases. Ritter makes the big turn at first base, and he has himself a 1-out double, sliding into second to get things going here in the 5th inning. Couldn't hold him down for long.
Now, when Ritter made the decision early on the hard hit ball, once he knew that was going to roll to the wall, he was going to take off for second. Never slowed his momentum down, and a nice job by Packard. Gets set up. Packard knows he's not going to cut it off. Plays the carom, and he really got a very solid throw. A little bit high to Lloyd, but not far off from having a chance maybe to make that out. But Ritter did a nice job. Hustles all the way into second.
First extra base hit of the game for Wichita State. Now Mason O'Brien will come to the plate. O'Brien hitting .314 in his last 9 games with 11 hits, 3 homers, 5 RBIs. Ritter with a nice lead off second. Here's a high chopper to the shortstop. The throw over to first is in time, but that's as good as a sacrifice bunt. It'll move Ritter into scoring position on 3rd.
High chopper a little bit behind Ritter. When the ball's hit behind you leading off at second, you take off for 3rd. So again, a runner 90 feet away for 2 outs, and they'll rely on Paxton Wallace here to come up big. Wallace hit into a double play back in the first, struck out in the 3rd. So he's looking for his first hit. It could be a big one.
Wallace settles in against Burleson, who's taking a look at Ritter off 3rd, and now time is called. Burleson up on the hill. We can get a little more about East Carolina from our Haley Outen. Haley, what do you have?
Yeah, Garrett, ECU heading into this game at a remarkable 42-13. And while the Pirates haven't experienced defeat many times this year, they have been able to use those losses as big teaching moments. And maybe the biggest teaching moment came when they played at number 1 UCLA, 3 of those losses coming there. But what this team learned during that series is that they have to do the little things right to win baseball games. You just can't show up and expect to win. So that's something that they are certainly focused on here in Clearwater to hopefully take home a conference title.
They're definitely battle-tested. One of the toughest schedules in all of the American. This one's fouled at the plate, just got a piece of it. And Wallace now 2-1 in the count. Not sure if that one ricocheted off of the catcher Washer or not. The umpire nice enough to go out there and exchange balls with Burleson. Here's a closer look. That one got away from him, and the bat comes on the back of his helmet. Long swing by Paxton Wallace. Hopefully no harm done. Wallace takes a look at a fastball, 90 miles an hour, but a little bit low.
Set up good for the cleanup man. He's got a hitter's count at 3-1. 11 doubles, 9 home runs.
Luke Ritter with the double all the way out into left field. He came around to third base on the chopper in the infield by Mason O'Brien, now standing on third. Wallace trying to drive him in and do it with 2 outs. This one's fouled back into the net, and the count will run full.
Wallace really got a battle. 18 walks, 51 strikeouts on the year. Burleson hasn't given a lot of fastball. He stayed off speed most of the game. Makes a slider in there every now and then.
See if they bust him inside. Right over the heart of the plate. Struck out looking. And Burleson, with a gem of a pitch, gets out of trouble with an all-conference first-teamer on third. Our score remains tied 1-1. The pitch by Burleson. And that's the strikeout. We'll be back after this.
We all dream about our next vacation, but some of us turn those dreams into action. The bookers, the doers, they hit that confirmation button and let's goers. Because bookers know that the perfect place to stay is right there for the booking. Be a booker at Booking.com, the world's #1 choice for booking accommodations.
More than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American, powered by determination.
We welcome you back. Bottom of the 5th here at Spectrum Field in Clearwater, Florida. The American Baseball Championships presented by the Air Force Reserve. Roll on here. Tie ball game, and it's been a good one. 1 run on 5 hits for Wichita State. 1 run on 2 hits and an error committed by ECU, the regular season conference champions. Talk to me about the start for Clayton McGinnis so far today. I think he's impressed the fans that have made the trip down from Wichita, Kansas.
Well, I like what I've seen out of him so far. Didn't let that first inning phase him when he threw 31 pitches. He settled in 4 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned, a walk, 3 strikeouts, 66 pitches, 43 strikes. He does a good job of mixing things up. Now, what Wichita State did between innings, we saw UConn do it in the first. We're now here in the bottom of the 5th, and Wichita State just sent their entire bullpen out to left field. They're going to be ready to fire that bullet if McGinnis gets into some trouble.
Brady Lloyd takes a look at called strike 1. Lloyd getting things going here. 7-8-9 up for the Shockers. Lloyd offers at this one. So he's behind in the count, 0-2. You see the bullpen there for Wichita State. Ready if called.
Pays to be the first one running out there. You get a spot under the shade, get under the umbrella.
Some bar stools starting to fill up at Frenchie's out in left field. This one comes inside on Lloyd. He's able to avoid it. 88 miles an hour by Clayton McGinnis. Here's a closer look. This one comes inside. Doesn't look like it got a piece of the jersey. McGinnis with the 70th pitch. This one's fouled over to the third base side.
Well, McGinnis has gotten the most important out of every inning, and that's the first. Your scoring chance is greatly reduced if you can't get that leadoff man on. But retired Packard on a strikeout, Washer on the flyout, Giles on the great play by Boyer, and then a ground out to first by Brickhouse.
Opposite field hit Lloyd's on to lead things off here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Now
Just
you got to
off
be
the end of the
careful.
bat.
Yeah, now you got to be careful. That's the first leadoff man that reached, left it outside, went with it to the right side, and nearly another great play by O'Brien. Diving just off the tip of the mitt out into right field. If he picks that one up and they get the out, that's just another defensive gem by this infield.
Chance now for Chandler Jenkins to make some noise. The right fielder hitting in the 8-hole popped up on the infield and ended the 2nd inning.
Cliff Godwin wants to talk to Jenkins, and you don't see this a lot in baseball. Most of the time it's coaches meeting with pitchers, but Cliff Godwin on a frequent basis, saw him last weekend. We'll call time, bring a hitter down, either talk about the pitch sequence he thinks may be coming up, what the strategy is, what he may want to do in this at-bat. Right now, the bottom third of this order starts setting things up here in the 5th inning, and they flip it back to the top here in the inning. This offense could get rolling. They're very capable of putting up huge, huge innings.
Jenkins against Wichita State in the regular season only played 2 games, pinch hit in one of them. Finished at the plate 0-1 over 2 games. Of course, 2 more games coming up. We're excited to bring you the Memphis Tigers and the Cincinnati Bearcats after this game. And then UCF and Tulane will be our nightcap. A lot of talented teams still left on the docket today. Everything doesn't get started tomorrow until 3 p.m. 2 games on the schedule.
Mentioned the big innings. They've had 21 big innings, which is usually classified as 4 or more runs in an inning. They've only lost 1 game where they've had a big inning, and that was after a 4-run inning on April 12th at UCLA. Lost that game 7-5.
You see Houston already falls to UConn, the 4 seed, 4-3 in walk-off fashion. Memphis and Cincinnati, that game will start, I believe, 47 minutes after the completion of this one. And then UCF and Tulane. You want to see some power, tune in for Tulane. That can just drop bombs. Here's a bunt back to the pitcher. Mishandled by McGinnis, and he can't recover. Was still thinking after the bobble of getting the runner over at first. And instead, there's nobody out and 2 on.
The fact is Jenkins pushed that too hard. He got away with it, and the push a little too tough may have made it more difficult on McGinnis. Now, I think McGinnis may have been thinking about going to second, but with the hard push, rolled it up the web, off the back of the hill, never able to recover or even get the solid out at first base. So now McGinnis in some trouble. If I'm East Carolina, ECU, and Cliff Godwin, I'm thinking about having Giles put these guys at second and third and turn it over to the top of the order.
If you're McGinnis, that is the first error of your senior campaign.
Wow.
Talk with the pitching coach. Wants everybody to just settle down with 2 on. Been such a nice job over the last 3 innings of just kind of handcuffing the offense of East Carolina. An arm gets up. Looks like it's a left-hander for Wichita.
Alex Siegel, a sophomore left-hander, now starting to throw in the bullpen. They just ran out there, and he'll just start jumping around, get on the band, start stretching out, and start throwing as soon as possible. We talked about it now. If Giles, see what he can do, but if Giles moves these runners over, then you're looking at, 361 out of Packard. Baker's your get-him-over guy, and then here comes Brickhouse and Burleson.
In his last 4 starts, he's thrown over 100 pitches. Cincinnati, UConn, East Carolina, and USF. Come away with 2 wins and losses. He's gone deep into ball games at the most important time of the year. McGinnis trying to bear down here with 2 on, nobody out. He'll face Ryder Giles. Giles, the 9-hole hitter, comes in 0 for 1. He squares to bunt. Darting in is O'Brien, but he'll pull it back.
We talked about how Wichita State doesn't like to sacrifice bunt, only 7 on the year. ECU 60 on the season, and Giles has 9 alone. That's only good for 4th on the team.
McGinnis stares into Cadena. Now he's got what he wants. Infield in on the corners. Drops this one. Should be playable. McGinnis thinks third, goes first. And a very successful sacrifice bunt there by the bottom of the order, Ryder Giles.
Nice job of McGinnis, a lot more deliberate that time. He's going to make sure he secured the baseball. Did give a quick nod over to third. And I thought for a second that hesitation would cost him. Play it first a little bit closer. Nice job by O'Brien, too. Had to reach that mid a little bit into foul territory with the runner Giles bearing down at first base.
Let's go to Haley.
We've mentioned that the success this ECU team has had this year has been because they can do a really good job at just a little bit of everything. And while they do have a power hitting team, they can also play small ball. And we just saw it right there. And they're actually leading the country in sac bunts.
Very impressive. Wichita State elects to do an intentional base on balls to Bryant Packard, I believe.
And they're going to get a pinch hitter in there. Saw him last week. He DHs a lot. Thomas Francisco. They're going to turn him around. It looks like Dusty Baker is done for the day.
Baker had struck out looking twice against McGinnis. So Francisco will come to the plate.
A lot of experience. It's his 48th game. He's had 29 starts, 298, 4 homers, 24 driven in, and 94 at-bats coming into this ball game.
Bases loaded for East Carolina and only one out. Deep breath up there on the hill for Clayton McGinnis. Nice to have the opportunity to bring in an almost 300 hitter off your bench with the bases loaded. Francisco on the year with 24 runs driven in.
Cliff Godwin's been around long enough. He can anticipate when something big is brewing. He's got the bases loaded, one out, bringing the experienced left-hander here, and Cliff Godwin trying to get a big inning and maybe put this game away midway through. Especially with Brickhouse and Burleson right behind him.
Lloyd standing on third, Jenkins on second, and now Packard, who runs well on first. Francisco won't offer at that one. Good job by Cadena to block it.
Francisco, just a freshman out of Abingdon, Virginia.
Pirates trying to break a 3-inning-plus scoreless streak. McGinnis has shut them down. The 2-0 is called, strike one. McGinnis still some good zip on the fastball, 90 miles an hour there as he prepares for his 80th pitch of the ball game.
Played for his dad, Mark, at Abingdon High School. 3-sport athlete, earned 9 letters in high school.
Infield comes set. Francisco's worked himself ahead in the count, 3-1. The ball ran away from the left-hander.
Hitter's count, he can sit on one here. Chance for him to really crank this one, see if he can put one in the alley.
Shockers would love the double play ball up the middle. They're set up for it. The 3-1. Lifted into the air. Will it be deep enough? Coming in is Slavens. Lloyd stunts and won't come in. Ball harmlessly gets away from the third baseman, Wallace. But that's about as good as you could ask for if you're Wichita State.
Yeah, if you set it up, you don't get the double play, but a run doesn't score either. Just lifted that one, got up under it. Forced him to shoot it to the left side. Slavens up under it. Boyer could have taken it if he wanted to, but Slavens had the momentum coming toward the plate. No chance to send him. I know a lot of people will say, well, the ball glanced off the glove on the relay. He would have scored. I can assure you, if he takes off legitimately, that ball's sailing to home plate. And you want to leave it alive for Spencer Brickhouse. The last thing he wants is a fly out, throw him out of the plate, double play to end the inning.
Brickhouse hitting .339. Comes to the plate with the bases loaded. Lifts this one into the air. It'll go foul third base side, though. Hit that one a long way. Brickhouse stands back in. Today's ball game, he walked and scored the team's only run. Grounded out on a nice play by the first baseman, O'Brien, in the fourth. Brickhouse, a first-team all-conference performer in his junior season. Here's the 0-1. Falls behind in the count 0-2. And the Shocker fans are making themselves heard here over off the first base side. Closer look at this pitch. And it finishes a little bit low, but crossed the heart of the plate.
I don't think that's what Brickhouse was sitting on. I believe he thought when he got down 0-1, he may waste one away. I don't think he anticipated McGinnis coming right back at him.
Brickhouse, your team leader for ECU with 51 runs driven in. McGinnis comes set. Fastball. And fouled off at 91 miles an hour. That's about the top of the gun that we've seen today for Clayton McGinnis. He scattered just 3 hits to this offense through 4 2/3 innings. Brickhouse trying to break the tie. Sends this one up the middle. All they need is one. The flip in time. Wichita State strands the bases loaded, and Clayton McGinnis is pumped up, heading back to first base. Wow, all the momentum heading over to the first base dugout side. Jeff, let's take a closer look.
Well, really nice job. You got the shallow fly ball. He got a pitch that he wanted up the middle, but Boyer was playing up the middle, able to flip it quickly to Ritter, and McGinnis dodges a big, big bullet.
We'll keep the broadcast here during the inning break. Let's get more with Haley.
As we head into the sixth inning, we've got a great game brewing in Clearwater, and both sides from Wichita State and ECU, a really nice contingent has traveled. And while you may not be able to see it in the stands, there's a good group of fans that are getting some shade up in the stands and up on the concourse. But we also see that we have over 1,000 people tuning in with us from work and home, hopefully getting some air conditioning. So we want to know who you're rooting for on the broadcast today. Are you a Pirate fan or a Shocker fan? And Garrett, Jeff, what do you think? Do we have more Pirate fans or Shocker fans watching today?
Jeff, I'll leave that to you.
I'm not going to.
You're going to make half the fan base mad.
Not walking that plank. I can tell you, if you're watching it at work, though, make sure you keep the volume loud enough to hear it, but not to get in trouble.
Great day so far, and I believe the change has been made in center field. Francisco likely will be playing for East Carolina. You see the fans enjoying the bright sunshine here at Spectrum Field. That was a huge momentum play right there for Wichita State, and maybe the most pumped-up guy in the ballpark was the pitcher, Clayton McGinnis, who was just fired up heading back to the first base dugout.
Well, you got to remember, he had the bases loaded with 1 out. He gets back-to-back huge outs. Number 1, Francisco, they bring a left-hander in there to face him. Got the shallow fly ball way too close to tag up. So that secures you for a little bit, but then here comes Spencer Brickhouse waiting for him to bust out in this tournament, and it's going to happen at some point. But you get Brickhouse to just roll one up the front. Nice play again by Boyer. They had him shaded a little bit up the middle, and they don't have that shift on. That rolls through, and they've got a pair of runs on the board.
5, 6, 7 coming to the plate here in the top of the 6th inning for Wichita State, who has been shut out on offense 2 innings in a row by Alec Burleson. He's been able to wriggle off the hook a little bit as well. They did score their only run back in the 3rd inning. Now Brady Slavens will come to the plate, and this one falls across for called strike 1.
Francisco pinch hit. They'll go with the defensive replacement in center field. Bryson Worrell will now be in center field. No switches. He'll just be a straight switch in the spot that Dusty Baker. So he'll hit second and play center field.
That one gets away from Burleson. Count goes up 2-1. Slavens in today's ball game 0 for 1. He walked to start the 4th inning. Offers it this one, sends it into the air, should be playable for Packard, and as he goes back, he makes the grab.
A little bit of carry on that. Nice adjustment by Packard, racing back to his right.
Right-hander continues to warm in the bullpen over the left field wall for the Pirates. Ross Cadena, the catcher, comes to the plate now. Cadena already with 1 hit today, also reached on a fielder's choice, looking to be a base runner for the Shockers. Cadena hitting .250 in his sophomore season. Love how evenly matched this game is. If you took a look at it just from who was on the all-conference team and who was not, you'd certainly give the advantage to East Carolina. They had 9 players on all-conference teams, including 6 on the first team. Wichita State had but 1. That was Luke Ritter, who was first team. But this has been about as evenly matched as you could ask for. There's a big hack by Cadena. Count evens. Count actually goes to 1-2.
Well, we had a great first game. Low-scoring affair, a walk-off by UConn. Now we've got a 1-1 ball game. And again, a lot of times, day ones, you don't know what you'll get. Rotations sometimes are a little bit out of order, but it's been pitching dominant today, despite 4 home runs in the first game today.
Burleson's gone over 90 pitches now.
Again, the bonus is whoever wins this game, they're going to get the day off. They don't play again until 3 o'clock Eastern on Thursday against UConn. The losers got to turn around and play tomorrow at 3 Eastern.
This one's hit right back up the middle. Play made by Lloyd, and he'll overthrow first base. They've got to mark that a single. That one did not get into the dugout, and they'll send the runner to second base.
Well, what it didn't get caught in the dugout, but some of the Shocker players pointing to the exact spot it hit. It went over the fence and hit the front of the overhang of the dugout, and that's where the dead ball and the advancement is going to go. See if we can pick it up here. You'll see it bounce back out over the concrete right into the coach's box.
So now a runner in scoring position with 1 out, and Jack Segrist, the DH, will come to the plate.
So it will be ruled a single and an E4. Single on reaching first, the error on the overthrow as he goes down to second base.
Segrist has singled. That was in his last at bat. Today he's 1 for 2. Jeff, and the keys to the game before we started, we talked about Wichita State taking advantage when they could. This is one of those opportunities where you only have 1 out and a man in scoring position. Segrist takes a look at called strike 1.
And again, they're not a big bunting team. Only 7 sack bunts. They tried to push one earlier, did not work out. So they're going to opt to just swing away here. Why not? You got that runner at second, nobody out, or 1 out. See what they want to do with Cadena. He's bouncing around. He's got a big secondary lead, and right now Burleson's going to pay a lot of attention to him.
Burleson checking the runner. Ahead in the count now, 0-2. That fastball at 88 miles an hour. Alec, who had only pitched 6 starts this year. He had plenty of relief appearances, but his longest start of the year went against Monmouth. That was back in February, where he threw 7 innings and had 10 strikeouts. Looking to get extended here today. Pitching into the top of the 6th inning with 1 out. He threw exactly 100 pitches in that win against Monmouth. Alec has made 4 relief appearances this month. Hasn't pitched more than 20 pitches in any of those. So obviously the most work on his arm since the beginning of the season. He's been such an effective reliever for them.
Well, since that last start at North Carolina, May 8th, he's gone 2/3, 2/3, and he pitched an inning last Thursday against Memphis up in Greenville.
Counts even now to Segrist, the DH, 2-2.
So in his last 3 outings, since that last start where he went 66 pitches, he's only thrown 38 pitches in 3 relief outings. So he's been stretched out pretty good today compared to the last 3 weeks.
Ross Cadena standing off second base, looking for a hit from Segras to come around on. Memphis Tigers are in the building, walking on the left field concourse now. Burleson approaching 90 pitches. 81 miles an hour on that offering, and it's fouled off.
Well, that one got him over 90. He's going to be close to 100. He's going to have a season-high pitch count. After this at-bat, he's going to be around 97, 98 pitches for the ball game.
There's Coach Schoenrock's crew walking into the ball game. They will take on the 2 seed, Cincinnati, about 45 minutes after this game. This one's in the air, center field, should be playable for Worrell, and it is. That one just hung up there for the second out of the inning.
Off the bat, looked like it could drop in, but Worrell playing in a little bit. Gets a good jump on it to his left. Yeah, immediate reaction right to the left. Didn't take him much time. As you mentioned, just kind of hung up there in the wind.
Now Jacob Catsby will come to the plate. Starting center fielder. Just looking to put the ball in play with a man in scoring position. Infield playing pretty far back. Catsby's reached on a fielder's choice. Today's 0 for 2. And takes a look at called strike 1. Boy, Burleson's breaking stuff really finds the strike zone. I don't know if you're taking all the way there, if it's just hard to pick up out of his hand. Probably a little bit of both. Burleson checks Cadena, dancing off second. And delivers. This one's hit on the ground. Off the hand of Burleson, still playable. The throw to first is in time, and that'll close the inning down. Burleson tried to make that play unassisted. His shortstop backs him up, and we remain scoreless. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th. East Carolina will come to the plate. You're watching the American Baseball Championships presented by the Air Force Reserve.
Sorry, no.
NBA superstar.
Gatorade Zero. All the electrolytes, zero sugar. Get more out of zero.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle,
a big save, a clutch hit,
or a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
There is power in the sportsmanship that is displayed across the American.
Power is respecting opponents,
Officials,
student athletes,
Coaches and team representatives.
power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
Profanities or other improper actions while at the game.
The American.
Power for life.
The American. Power for life.
The American. Power for life.
Beautiful afternoon in game number 2 of the American Baseball Championship from Air Force Reserve. A 1-1 game between the 8 seed Wichita State, the number 1 seed, the regular season champions. They were so good they clinched it with 5 games remaining in the regular season. ECU, and again, we've talked about NCAA implications. They are in. They are going to host. What are your feelings, Garrett? What do you think? A win, maybe 2, maybe try to lock up a national seed, or you think they need to get to Saturday, maybe even Sunday to lock it up? You don't want to. It's one of those things. If you're Cliff Godwin, everyone's telling you win a game or 2 and you're fine. Win a game or 2, you're fine. Someone else does something somewhere else. You don't want to leave it up to the committee. You want to have that national seed locked in.
I think what they've done, the teams that they've beaten, the tough schedule they've played, and the way that they won this conference, as this one's lined out into left field. Nice start by Burleson. They've made a statement, and they've done it all year long. They've been a top 15 team all year long. They've moved into the top 10 as the season has come down to a close. I think this is a national seed team when I look at them, and part of the reason, guys like that. Alec Burleson, great way to start off the inning. You've got a runner on with nobody out, and now you're trying to put a little pressure on the starter for Wichita State, Clayton McGinnis.
Well, I think, too, what Cliff Godwin can argue, and I think, let's face it, you go into a committee, and it's humans. They do have a tradition there not only of getting to the NCAA, but they have advanced to Super Regionals. They have hosted regionals there. They've advanced to the Super Regional round. It's not that they haven't broken that barrier before. I think they're very deserving getting that national seed. I know everyone in Greenville would be very, very excited to get that national seed.
Turner Brown now expected to bunt. They've brought in the corner infielders. Brown, a 300 hitter with a man on first base, nobody out. They set up on the outside corner and get the call from home plate umpire Matt McKendry. Been a pretty well officiated tournament through the first 2 games. Always have a nice crew down here in Clearwater. And they work hard, you know, and those guys are out there in the sun, in the gear. Brown behind in the count, 0-1. He has not squared the bunt yet. This one gets inside from McGinnis.
Well, those groundkeepers, Garrett, you know, they take a lot of pride in the job they do, very meticulous. I saw something as we take a look at this pitch. Got buried down in a nice dig back there. Saw something that I haven't seen, just maybe because I haven't noticed. Before the first game, you and I looked down and said, look at that guy. That guy takes pride in his work on the mound. He wasn't just dragging the mound. He had a hand brush finishing up that mound.
Great crew here in Clearwater. Rain or shine. Brown's worked himself ahead in the count. Back-to-back pitches out of the zone by McGinnis. Brown takes a look at his wristband. Now he knows what to do and steps back in. What does Coach Godwin have cooked up standing over on that third base side? Burleson standing off first. Brown offers it this one. And the foul back into the net will even things up. There's the 2-time American Coach of the Year, now in his 5th season with the Pirates.
Well, Cliff hasn't had a lot of opportunities today to have the team get out and run, even though they've had some guys on bases, just not running opportunities. But you look at Cadena, he's thrown out 12 runners, but he's given up 70, or this team, it's not all him, but 72 stolen bases against.
Just 4 hits in the game so far for the Pirates. 2 of them belong to Burleson. A double and that single that just got him on. Count runs full now. Clayton McGinnis up into the lower 90s with his pitch count. Did a great job of getting out of a bases loaded jam in the last inning. Kept this thing scoreless. Fastball, 88 miles an hour, fouled back.
They did put Burleson in motion that time with a 3-2 count. See if they may do it again. And both things have been pretty even. Not only the score and the hits, the pitch count's going to stay about even if McGinnis is able to run through this with just a runner on base. They're both going to be about around 100 pitches. Burleson sitting right at 100 pitches after his last inning. And that's right around where McGinnis will be.
Hit on the ground to the glove. Could be 2. The tag made at second. Over to first in time. A double play started by the pitcher.
Great job by McGinnis. Had a little trouble with a bunt an inning ago. This time right into the glove and makes a solid throw. Gives Boyer a chance to get the exchange. And they had that double play easily over at first base.
Both teams have turned a double play in the ball game now. Jake Washer will come to the plate. Bases are empty now with 2 outs. Looked like a moving change. That one finishes a little bit high in the zone. In the last 4 outings for Clayton McGinnis, he's gone at least 7 innings pitched, picked up 2 wins against a loss, and threw 9 innings against East Carolina. We talked about that complete game win. Washer takes this one low and works himself ahead in the count. Washer 0 for 2 today, flew out lined out. A redshirt junior has been around for a whole lot of wins in Greenville. A couple of conference championships and their first American regular season championship here in 2019. He's ahead in the count 2-0. Maybe sit on one here. It's a pretty pitch. He laid off of it, though, and remains ahead in the count 2-1.
Well, that's a good take by Washer. McGinnis has stayed off speed a lot today, but he'd like to hunt a fastball if he can.
Washer with 9 doubles on the year, 10 home runs, and 42 runs driven in. Pretty good for a guy batting in the 6 hole. Fouls this one off, and it stays foul down the first base line.
Well, bottom 4 in your order, 3 of those guys right now have double-digit RBIs. In fact, 20-plus. Washer 42, Lloyd 21, Giles 22. The only guy that doesn't, Chandler Jenkins, and he's only had 4 starts, and he's got 6 RBI. You're going to get to where they've got at 42 wins and the lofty expectations. You've got to be able to hit up and down the order.
2 players warming for Wichita State over the wall in left field, a lefty and a righty. McGinnis with his 100th pitch, hit hard but foul down the left field side. That makes 5 starts in a row, Jeff, that he's topped 100 pitches. Got to appreciate a young man like McGinnis, as you see the 2 players warming. Literally just give it all. Everything I've got to my team. I'm going to push through some pain, some discomfort. I'm going to try and come away with a win. He's done that twice in his last 4 starts.
Well, especially today, he's looking at potentially his last collegiate start.
This one's popped up, and with 2 outs, could be the end of the inning if they can guide away from the sun, and they do. Nice inning. A single, a double play, and a fly ball out. We're 6 complete, headed to the top of the 7th here in Clearwater. It's almost stretch time. Stay with us. We'll be back after this when the Shockers come to the plate.
This is St. Pete Clearwater, home to 35 miles of white sand bliss. But it's more than emerald surf and Gulf breezes. The beach is an attitude. It's the vibe of life, nature, art, music, or whatever brings you joy. Experience the American tropics on Florida's Gulf Coast in St. Pete Clearwater. Love the beach.
Bernie scores! 3 strikeouts in a row. Dominance for a 4th straight year. Hueso from 30. Unbelievable.
And be able to celebrate this type of championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
Tie ball game, and the Memphis Tigers due up after this game 2. Just chilling, hanging out here at Spectrum Field in Clearwater. The 7th seed Tigers getting ready for their big matchup against Cincinnati. The Bearcats, the number 2 seed, should be a very compelling matchup.
They have met several times here in the American Conference Tournament. It'll be fun to watch that. You'll get to see the freshman of the year, or the rookie position player of the year, Hunter Goodman. And then after that against Tulane, Cody Hosey, the player of the year. We're going to see a new pitcher now for ECU. Coming into the ball game, so Burleson is done, at least on the mound. It'll be Gavin Williams, a 6'6", 230-pounder out of Fayetteville. So he's got really, really good size on the year. Gavin Williams, 1-3 in 16 outings, 4 starts. He does have a save, a 4.54 ERA, 39 2/3 of an inning, 32 hits, 22 runs, 20 earned, 18 walks, 46 strikeouts, a 2.24 average against a wild pitch, and 3 at-batters. So Burleson today was good. 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run. It's earned, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, 100 pitches, 62 of those 4 strikes.
Big moment for Gavin Williams to try and keep this a tie ball game as the fans look on here. Wichita State ready to roll, coming up to the plate for the Shockers. Looks like the bottom of the order, and then they'll turn over the lineup. David Van Voren will get things going against the 6.5-foot tall right-hander Gavin Williams. picturesque setting here in Clearwater, Florida. This is the 6th year that the American Baseball Championships have been held in this ballpark. Previous to that, 6 years, the Big East Championship was held here. And now Williams is ready to work against the bottom of the order, Van Voren, who is 0 for 2 today with a strikeout looking and a pop-up.
Through against Wichita State in May 11, just 2/3 of an inning. Kind of got roughed up. A pair of hits, couple of runs, both earned, 2 walks and 1 strikeout.
First pitch swinging, fouled back into the netting in front of us. Williams made 15 appearances all in relief last year. This one a fastball, lifted up, going back to the shortstop. And a catch will be made. Fairly easy there for Turner Brown. A couple of pitches and a quick out for Gavin Williams.
Pretty easy out there. Van Voren got up under it. Brown took off back to his right, able to backpedal out to left field. Had Packard coming in from behind. So first batter, first out, good start for Gavin Williams.
Now the top of the order. Jordan Boyer coming to the plate. Boyer today has hit the ball hard. He's 1 for 3, singled and scored his team's only run in the 3rd inning. Williams' fastball clocked at 92.
Right now, Boyer counts for the only run. He had a 2-out single and took advantage of some mistakes on the mound. A couple of wild pitches in that sequence, put him to second, then brought him home.
Williams, who hails from Fayetteville, North Carolina, coming out of Cape Fear High School. How cool is that? Was drafted in the 30th round in the 2017 Major League first-year draft by the Tampa Bay Rays.
Robert Mitchum, Cape Fear, or Bobby D?
I think it's De Niro. That one got away from Williams. Still ahead in the count, 1-2. East Carolina scored in the 1st inning. Gave up a run to Wichita State in the 3rd. We've been scoreless since. Knotted up at 1. Back up to 91 miles an hour by Gavin Williams. And the count remains the same. Well, there is some precedent for the 8 beating the 1. It's happened 3 times before in this tournament. Breaking ball by Williams. Nice job by Boyer not to offer. East Carolina has done it twice. Coach Butler's team hoping to scratch across another run or 2 and put some pressure on East Carolina.
Well, you and I talked about it between ball games. It's, you know, other sports are a little bit different. It's rare to see an 8 beat a 1 or a very low seed on day 1 beat the top seed. But in a sport like baseball, even in the softball championships.
This ball's a little bit foul. Let's get more on Boyer from Haley.
Yeah, guys, in regards to Jordan Boyer, Wichita State actually doesn't have team captains, but Boyer is definitely considered to be one of the leaders on this team. He's been on the team for 5 years since he redshirted as a freshman, and guys in the dugout. He's been kind of known to be the one to pick the team up when something's not going well.
Gotta love the upperclassmen on a team. I'm sure he gets a little ribbing about being a grandpa, having an AARP card. But you kill to have guys like that on your team, you know? Leaders, guys that have been through the war. Hanging tough up there at the plate. Count is now run full with 1 out and nobody on.
But going back to that 8-1, you just need one pitcher. Softball, baseball, a pitcher just has a good day. Doesn't have to be a great pitcher. Just have a really solid outing. You've got a good one in McGinnis, and he's had a solid outing. He's kept him in the ball game.
This one's crushed to left field. Going back is Packard. He's got a beat on it, and it's off his glove. It'll be extra bases for Jordan Boyer, his 2nd hit of the ball game. And now a runner in scoring position for Wichita State with 1 out.
Left that one out over there, and he took advantage of it. Packard had a good beat on it, had the jump at the last second, just couldn't get it to hang in that glove as he went up against the walls. We take a look, got turned around, went to his left, leaping to the left. That wall was coming. Just couldn't clamp down, and all of a sudden, Wichita State, again, another opportunity. Remember, an inning ago, they had the single in the air, runner at second, one out. 2 innings ago, the one-out double. Third inning in a row, they've had a runner at second with less than 2 outs.
Boyer now your team leader with 15 doubles. The man he was tied with coming to the plate, Luke Ritter. We might see a pitching change before that happens, though.
And it was Ritter who doubled in the fifth with 1 out. They stranded him at third. Prior to that, that was the bases loaded inning in the fourth. Not the bases loaded, but that was the inning they put 4 men on. And they made 2 of the 3 outs on the bags.
Redshirt senior Evan Voliva is warming up. He's the only player remaining from the 2015 American Championship team as a redshirt senior. Pitching coach will trot back to the dugout. Voliva, the right-hander, getting warm. So now a great opportunity for the only all-conference selection for the Shockers to make some noise. Ritter comes to the plate now with a man on and 1 out. He's reached base all 3 times, 2 walks, and then that double in his last at bat. Williams taking his time up there against a dangerous bat. Ritter now hitting over .335 on the year. Delivers. Right at the belt, and it's called strike 1.
Really jammed him there as Ritter turned around, wanted to make sure where they thought that ball was. Ritter even more dangerous with runners in scoring position, up to .346 on the year.
Top of the 7th. Got to be thinking this might be the last at-bat of the game for him. Got to come away and do something productive as he swings through a high fastball. Last year, the 8th seed Tulane beat number 1 seed Houston. Ritter strikes out. 93 miles an hour by Williams. That was a huge pitch.
Well, they needed that when you had your all-conference guy at the plate that had been on 3 times already, had the double and the pair of walks, left it up high. They jammed him in earlier. This time he just stays letter high, a little bit above, and Ritter could not lay off of it.
I'd say that appearance by the pitching coach kind of settled him down against a dangerous at-bat. We saw Memphis in the stands. They're hanging out on the right field side. Guess who just showed up? The 2 seed, Cincinnati, sitting behind the third base dugout. And they are out of the sun, enjoying a little bit of free baseball here.
You got to tip your cap to the job Cincinnati did this year. Look at their numbers. Nothing jumps out. They've got some team speed, but their offensive numbers, their pitching numbers. But they found a way, after a 1-9 start this year, to go to 26-29, 13-11 to get a second-place finish in a pretty darn good conference.
Williams will walk him back to second. There are the Bearcats. They've got some pretty talented freshmen, including some pitchers. But, boy, that junior and senior class, so dominant. They've kind of brought that team back to prominence. Interested to see if they can finally get their first win in tournament play here in Clearwater. Kind of get the monkey off their back. 0-10 over the last 5 years in tournament games. Should be a nice matchup between them and Memphis coming up 45 minutes after this one.
You and Jeff Sharon, I think it was 2 years ago, had that wild day 1 matchup between the Bearcats. Twice within the first 9 innings, it looked like both teams may run rule each other.
Why do we remember things like that? Mason O'Brien to the plate with a man on, 2 outs. Big hack there, and he's late on the fastball. Again, 93, pumped up by Williams. Williams has elicited a pop-up on the infield, gave up the double to Boyer, and then struck out Ritter. Even in the count now with Mason O'Brien, who was very hot to end the regular season. They're playing O'Brien pretty straight up. The big first baseman stands back in. Offers at the 1-1, capped off the end of his bat.
Well, you mentioned they may not have to see Ritter again. If they retire O'Brien, they may not have to see the top of the order again in this ball game.
Only 4 hits for East Carolina, 7 for Wichita State. And the runner will advance to third base. No throw down by Washer.
They may just give catchers indifference on that one. He didn't even look over. They can give him the stolen base.
They're going to focus on O'Brien.
6th on the year for Jordan Boyer.
Nice eye at the plate. That would have been the end of the inning if they rang him up. Instead, it continues here. Williams has used that fastball to get past 2 batters. Will he dial it up here against O'Brien?
That was close, but just a little bit inside. Good take.
O'Brien, a .281 hitter. Swings through, 96 on the house gun. That was everything he had, and that closes out the inning. It's time to stretch here in Clearwater. Glad you're with us on the American Digital Network, presented by the Air Force Reserve. More baseball championships when we return here. Stay with us.
There's a lot to do out there. You can either talk about it or you can do something about it. At ECU, we choose to do things. And we can help you do just about anything. Come here to keep hometowns thriving, hearts beating, or make waves across the world. Wherever you're headed, this ship can get you there. With 30,000 of us doing so much, you won't find anyone sitting around. You ready?
We welcome you back in. Big old clouds here, puffy clouds in Clearwater, Florida. A beautiful day, and in the white hat, baseball royalty. Gene Stevenson, national championship college winning coach for Wichita State, enjoying the game over the first base side. He has got to be happy about the way the defense has performed today, and the pitching has been just incredible, scattering 4 hits and only allowing 1 run to East Carolina's powerful offense.
Pretty pleased seeing him stay in the game. What a job he did. He put that Wichita State program on the map after it being dormant. He took over, led them to 7 World Series trips and the '89 National Championship. And I know they're really happy at Wichita to have him stay around, stay involved with the administration, support the baseball program. So many times you see some longtime coaches just kind of fade away, disappear, and it's always great to see Coach.
Well, California and Florida are nice places to retire if you can afford it. This one's hit on the ground. Left side, Brady Lloyd running to first. The scoop is made, but Lloyd beats it by a step.
Still a great play by Boyer.
Hit into the hole, left side. Doing his best Derek Jeter impersonation. Great scoop over there, too. O'Brien makes sure it doesn't get by him. Now Chandler Jenkins scheduled to come to the plate. The right fielder ready to stand in. Just the 5th hit of the ball game for the Pirates. Jenkins reached on an error by the pitcher back in the 5th. Today's 0 for 2. He'll square to bunt here. O'Brien lets that one go foul. Better than having a man in scoring position, and they'll send the batter back to the box.
Continue to be impressed by O'Brien. He's made 2 nice digs. The one on the last play, even though it was an infield single. Made the diving play earlier to his left. Did a nice job to square up. He saw the spin on the ball. He was going to charge into it and take it, try for the out, but able to get both feet, turn the hips, get into foul territory.
There's a better placed bunt. Picked up and flipped over to first base. Nice job by McGinnis, who's now over 100 pitches, pitching in his 7th inning of work.
We mentioned Clayton McGinnis in his senior season. Second time this year he's been at 100 or more pitches. As you see him fill that one, made the nice underhand toss. Senior year could be his last start unless they win this conference tournament or they make it to Sunday and he gets to pitch on about 5 days rest. They'll stretch him out as long as they can. And now they're going to bring in Boyer, the shortstop. I don't know if he's got an issue with his glove or what, but he is going to walk in from short. And they'll check on him. Seems like he looks all right. So I don't know if they're going to do some work on a glove or not, but he's going to make his way down to the dugout here for a second. They're going to give timeout on the field for both teams. So it's something they're going to allow him to go in the dugout for at this point. But Cliff Godwin's got a runner at second, 1 away. He'll be looking for Ryder Giles to do something and flip it to the top of the order. The way the two teams have pitched, whether it's been Burleson, McGinnis, or Williams, you're thinking, well, you never know. One more run could do it in this ball game.
Could be covering up a scrape, maybe a little bit of blood. Trying to get him back out there on the hill, and there's an opportunity for Coach Butler to talk with his starting pitcher who's really left it all out there today. Clayton McGinnis has done a fine job allowing just 1 run and blanking this offense for 5 innings in a row.
Yeah, I got a little bit of tape on that left wrist, so that may have been exactly what it was. Just a quick tape job, cover up a scrape like you said, Garrett.
And they're going to make a pitching change. Clayton McGinnis, I believe, was arguing his case, wanting to stay in and keep his team tied up. But with a man in scoring position who runs as well as Lloyd, they're going to bring in another arm from the bullpen. Pretty impressive showing by the senior. Let's see if it pays off for Wichita State in the next couple of innings. We'll tell you the new pitcher when we return to Clearwater.
Opportunities present themselves every day. Opportunities that move us forward. Opportunities to serve our time in your community. Explore your opportunities in the Air Force Reserve.
Strong in mind, strong in body, strong in school, sport, life.
The grind is 10% physical and 90% mental.
The mind is the power.
The body is a means to jump higher, run faster,
be smarter, and live longer.
There is no weakness when it comes to seeking help.
We are stronger together.
So let's talk about it.
A waterfall starts with 1 drop.
Change starts with 1 person.
The American is dedicated to ending the stigma related to mental health
and promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
This is St. Pete Clearwater, home to Clearwater Beach, the #1 beach in the U.S. as chosen by travelers on TripAdvisor. It's not just white sand and Gulf breezes. Beach is an attitude. It's the vibe of whatever brings you joy. Experience the American tropics on Florida's Gulf Coast. Visit stpclearwater.com. Love the beach.
Bernie scores! 3 strikeouts in a row. Dominance for a 4th straight year. Hueso from 30.
Unbelievable. And be able to celebrate this type of championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
A heroic day is done for Clayton McGinnis, the senior, who goes 6 1/3 innings pitched, over 100 pitches. He gives up just 1 run, 5 hits, and walks 2. New pitcher in the ball game will be Alex Siegel, a redshirt sophomore.
6'4", 190-pounder on the mound out for Wichita State. Single, 0-1 in 28 outings, a pair of saves, 6.00 ERA, 30 innings, 22 hits, 27 runs, 20 earned, 25 walks to 40 strikeouts. Only a 196 average against 8 wild pitches and 6 hit batters. He faced ECU May 12th, third of an inning, no hits, but did surrender 2 unearned runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout, and he pitched twice over the weekend over in Tampa.
He'll face the bottom of the order, Ryder Giles, who had a pretty sacrifice bunt in his last at bat. Today, Giles is 0 for 1 as a runner in scoring position off second. 1 out in the inning. This is chopped at the plate. It'll be a fair ball. The throw to first, just in time by half a step. Well, that happens every now and then. You come into a ball game and the ball immediately finds you in the field. Siegel, though, fields his position and threw a strike over to first.
A nice play. That's a tough play to make. That is in toward the plate. You're almost throwing in a straight line, almost like a catcher. Did a nice little spin move there and fired a bullet. Turns right outside the base path, and O'Brien had a nice setup on the inside.
And if you don't make that throw correctly and it goes into right field, you just lost a tie game. Bryant Packard, top of the order, will come to the plate. He was intentionally walked in his last at bat. Today he's 0 for 2. They want an intentional pass for him as well. Back-to-back freebies for the top of the order in Packard. And with 2 outs, that'll set up a force in the middle of the infield. Well, Dusty Baker started the day off with 2 strikeouts. Tom Francisco came into the ballgame, flew out to left field, and now Worrell will come to the plate. Number 35 with his first at-bat of the day.
He replaced Francisco in center field, so he's been in the game. But as you mentioned, Garrett, first time we're going to see him hit.
Bryson hitting .225 on the year. This is his 41st game appeared in. 18 starts. He's got 18 hits and 80 at-bats. He's also driven in 13 runs. Just got to put the bat on the ball here. Foul tips it back past the mitt of Cadena.
Well, if he comes through and ECU gets the lead, all of a sudden they're going to think about one of these guys, maybe Bolivan, maybe, well, Burleson's already pitched. He's got 5. He leads the team with 5 saves, and he got the start. But Voliva, second on the team with 4, maybe bridging that gap, trying to close things down. Again, the way the game's gone, it may just take 1 more run.
East Carolina, the league champions, averaging almost 7 runs per ball game. They've been held to 1 here. This one gets past the bunt attempt. Strike 2.
Not sure if he just wanted to get the defense to move around or if he was really trying to lay one down. And either way, he's got himself in an 0-2 hole.
Not very often that you see 1 run attached to East Carolina in a box score. They've only been shut out twice this year. Once it happened against Houston. But to be held to 1 run in this setting, pretty nice play by Wichita State, the 8th seed. Bryson Worrell trying to come through here in a big position with runners on the corners. Siegel in relief of McGinnis, trying to keep it a tie ball game. Breaking ball lifted into the air. This will tail foul into the chairbacks. If you're Wichita State and you have aspirations of getting into the semifinals, competing for a championship here, you need Siegel to make this stand up, maybe try and get as close to finishing out the ball game as you can. If you're East Carolina, you haven't even thrown Agnos, Kuchmaner, or Smith. All these starters just blessed with the riches of fertile recruiting. They've done a great job over there with Coach Cliff Godwin's staff to bring in some top talent. The Shockers not quite as deep in starters. This one's fouled at the plate. Got to be a play by Cadena. It's on line to first, and our game remains tied. Wow, we are tied up. 7 apiece, make it 7 complete, and going to the top of the 8th inning. Can the Shockers push across a run and make this a much more interesting ball game? We'll see when we return on the American Baseball Championships presented by the Air Force Reserve.
We all dream about our next vacation, but some of us turn those dreams into action. The bookers, the doers, they hit that confirmation button and let's goers. Because bookers know that the perfect place to stay is right there for the booking. Be a booker at Booking.com, the world's #1 choice for booking accommodations.
More than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American, powered by determination.
Could things be turning Wichita State's way? They're tied up with the league champion East Carolina Pirates as we head to the top of the 8th inning. The Shockers trying to do exactly that. East Carolina's reliever, Gavin Williams, did a nice job of getting out of trouble and showed a plus fastball to get out in the 7th. Williams comes back out for his 2nd inning of work. When the Pirates are tied with a team after 7 innings, they're just 1-3 on the year. Of course, that spells favor for the Shockers. They will get things going here in the top of the 8th inning with Wallace, Slavens, and Cadena coming to the plate. So the cleanup man will get things going, and he does just that. Ropes one into the left field corner. It'll get all the way to the wall. Wallace motoring into second base. A leadoff double for Wichita State.
Well, the Shockers have had some one-out runners at second over the last 3 innings, but now you've got the leadoff man there, so now you can play a true get him on, get him over, get him in. He went right after it, drilled it letter high into the left field corner. He had the easy double right there. Well, here's what you mentioned, Garrett. A chance, your point right before that double in the left field. If you were to look at something ECU didn't have on the stat sheet, they can obviously hit. Yes, their bullpen's good. They've got a team ERA of 3.55, 15 saves, but they've spread their saves out. They don't have that Jacob Wallace type guy that comes in, lays the hammer down to close out a ball game. So that may be leading to that 1-3 record when you have those games after the 7th inning. Now, when you hit 292 of 98 doubles and 366 runs, probably the save opportunities are limited because you've got such a nice lead.
3rd extra base hit of the game for the Shockers. All of them have been doubles. That one belongs to Paxton Wallace. Now Brady Slavens will come to the point. He has walked back in the 4th. Today he's 0 for 2. So he's reached base once. They might be expecting him to drop a bunt. Corner infielders in on the grass. Williams will walk the runner back to second. Wipes the sweat off his brow. Scoreboard out here at Spectrum Field says 96 degrees.
Slavens gets it down to be his first sack bunt of the season. Again, they came in with only 7 as a team.
Williams has showed that plus fastball, touching 96 to get out of the last inning. Keeps it away at 91 miles an hour. Count is 0-1. Last year, the 8th seed was able to upset the 1. Tulane beat Houston. In 2017, East Carolina twice beat #1 seed UCF. When they were the 8th seed, they made it all the way to the title game.
If my memory serves me correct that year, ECU was one of those injury-riddled teams. In the last month of the season, they started to get healthy. Now, their record had buried them down in the standings. But that wasn't an 8 seed you're used to seeing that maybe struggled all season long. That was an 8 seed that was propelling themselves to finish off the year well and make a statement the next year.
Had some big names like Hunter Allen, Charlie Yorgan. This one's fouled back.
If Wichita State gets this run in, they do have a pretty good closer. Mitchell Walters, ERA a little high at 4.01, but 8 saves in 24 appearances and a pair of wins. Now, I don't know if they'd bring him in the 8th, but they may. They may be sensing get the upset, get the day off, reset things for Thursday.
That's what Jim Penders did for UConn. They were tied up late in the ballgame. He brought in his closer anyway. It paid dividends, and they came away with a walk-off win in the bottom of the 9th to get our tournament started. The 0-2 to Slavens on the way. He won't offer at that. 94 and out of the zone. Brady in his freshman season came in hitting .227. Looking for his first hit here in Clearwater. Gavin Williams shakes one off. The 1-2. Breaking ball. Slavens, I think, knew it was coming, just couldn't put it in play.
Well, a goal for Slavens right now. Just trying to find a way now with 2 strikes to get Wallace over to third base. Anything after that's a bonus. You get a hit and drive the run in at this point. That's a huge bonus. But get him to third. That way, Cadena needs a fly ball or a ground ball to bring the go-ahead run in.
Offers it this one, pops it up a mile high. Washer's lost track of it, but Williams hasn't. Makes the catch, holds the runner at second. That is a huge out. A foul pop fly by Slavens.
Second time we've seen an ECU pitcher come in and make the catch. I talked about it earlier. That's a tough play right now for either Washer or Cadena, the Wichita State catcher, to make. This time of day, you turn around, you're right into the sun. Now, Burleson earlier in the 4th, he's an outfielder, made the demonstrative I got it call. But as you mentioned, Williams saw that all the way off the bat.
The coach of the year, Cliff Godwin, calls time, and it might be time for Evan Voliva to come out of the bullpen. Williams, with the nice play in foul territory, gets the first out of the inning. Will Coach Godwin leave his 6'6" righty in there? You could see a smile on his face. He's arguing, hey, let me in. But they'll make the change. Nice relief appearance. He helped keep the game scoreless. Here we are in the 8th inning. And it's just the 3rd pitcher of the game, second reliever coming in for the Pirates, trying to keep this one tied up at 1 apiece with a shocker on second base. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we return after this.
On your mark, get set, let's go. It goes.
Sorry, huh?
NBA superstar.
Gatorade Zero. All the electrolytes, zero sugar. Get more out of zero.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle, a big save, a clutch hit,
or a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
There is power in the sportsmanship that is displayed across the American.
Power is respecting opponents,
Officials,
student athletes,
Coaches and team representatives.
Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
profanities, or other improper actions while at the game.
The American.
Power for life.
The American. Power for life.
The American. Power for life.
This is St. Pete Clearwater, home to 35 miles of white sand bliss. But it's more than emerald surf and Gulf breezes. The beach is an attitude. It's the vibe of life, nature, art, music, or whatever brings you joy. Experience the American tropics on Florida's Gulf Coast in St. Pete Clearwater. Love the beach.
Bernie scores! 3 strikeouts in a row. Dominance for a 4th straight year. Cueto from 30.
Unbelievable. And be able to celebrate this type of championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
4 o'clock here on the eastern side. 96 degrees on our scoreboard at Spectrum Field. New pitcher in the ball game for ECU, trying to keep this a tie ball game, is the redshirt senior Evan Voliva. That means the day done for Gavin Williams, who looked good in relief and will probably be available throughout the rest of the week. The ability to throw 93 to 96 made it tough at times for Wichita State.
Well, especially if they get the win, he'll get a day and a half of rest. Williams 1 1/3, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, just 25 pitches today.
2 hits in the ball game for Ross Cadena. Also reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th. He's got a runner in scoring position. Let's see the repertoire by Voliva. This one finishes a little bit low. Voliva has rebounded from Tommy John surgery to become one of these trusted relievers out of the bullpen for Coach Godwin. 5-3 this year with a 3.2 ERA in 27 appearances. He pitched just 4 games in 2017 before needing the surgery, and then managed only 4 more appearances in 2018 after the surgery. So a little slow to come back, but he's been very effective in his final season in Greenville. Evens up the count 1-1 to Cadena.
Wichita State has had opportunities since the 4th inning. It could be their last best chance here with Cadena. He's been on 3 times. He's got 2 of their hits.
This one's lined back up the middle. Will they send the runner around? Yes, they do. Chugging hard is Walker at the plate, and he's safe. Coming all the way around is Wallace, and an RBI here in the 8th inning makes it a ball game in Wichita State's favor.
Well, he had been maybe one of the best hitters today. He had 2 of their 8 hits. Now he has 3 of 9. Just shot it out to center field, a little bit off to the right. And again, the right call at third base. You got a chance to knock off the #1 team. You've got to take that chance. They sent Wallace all the way around third. This time he gets in ahead of the throw. They had it set up nice, and it was a nice throw from Worrell. But slides around a potential tag, beat it, and would have slid around it anyway. Nice job.
Great replay, too. Good angle there. Now the runner on first with 1 out. Up to the plate, Jack Segrist. That breaks a streak of 4 scoreless innings up there. Wichita State scored in the 3rd. Finally breaks through here in the 8th. Throw back over to first. Still waiting for the first offering to Segrist. The DH batting in the 7 hole today is 1 for 3. Singled back in the 4th inning.
Wichita State had 10 men reach base over the last 5 innings.
Runner takes off. A hit and run. The throw to first base is the 2nd out of the inning. Just as good as a sacrifice bunt.
Well, I know what Lloyd was doing there. He did the right thing. He tried to stay on the bag as long as he could. He was looking for the 4-3 double play. It was coming right for second. Had he waited to try to get that double play, everyone would have been safe. Cadena came sliding in there, and by the time he would have gotten the ball, if he would have waited, he had no play at first. So he takes the sure out. Now you just have to work to Catsby here and try to get out of the inning.
Catsby, 0 for 3 today, has reached on a fielder's choice. Ended the 6th inning, coming in now with a runner in scoring position. So Voliva allows the single up the middle, coming in relief. And Wichita State takes the lead 2-1. Playing him pretty straight up. Left-hander settles back in, ahead in the count, 1-0 with 2 outs. Boy, what a day by Cadena. 3 singles, including what could be a game-winning RBI. This one's lifted to center field, and the catch is made. Catsby is retired, but Voliva allows one to come back up the middle. A run scores from second. And now a little pressure on the league champions, East Carolina. Bottom of the 8th will come to the plate, try and generate some offense here in Clearwater. You're watching the American Baseball Championships presented by the Air Force Reserve.
There's a lot to do out there. You can either talk about it or you can do something about it. At ECU, we choose to do things. And we can help you do just about anything. Come here to keep hometowns thriving, hearts beating, or make waves across the world. Wherever you're headed, this ship can get you there. With 30,000 of us doing so much, you won't find anyone sitting around. You ready?
Bottom of the 8th, Wichita State's gone ahead 2-1 here in our opening round matchup between the 8th seed and the 1 seed, East Carolina, and their fans feeling a little pressure now. This team has the talent, of course, to win this entire tournament, just like they did last year. Don't want to get off to a bad start, though. I think it's interesting, Alex Siegel back out for his second inning of relief. Don't bring in the closer yet. Guess they have aspirations to go a little deeper this week than we thought.
Imagine they'll have Mitchell Walters ready, though I'm sure he's been out in the bullpen at least stretching around. Now, if ECU doesn't come back and win this, they would play Houston tomorrow at 3. It'd be the first game of the day. Bonus still with the new tournament format. If they can come back and even the record, they would get Thursday off before coming back on Friday. So then you get to reset yourself a little bit. But still, you're also playing with your back against the wall. Next loss bounces you out of the tournament.
Siegel will take on Spencer Brickhouse and starts off speed, gets a pitch by him. Brickhouse in today's ball game 0 for 2. He has scored the only run, though, that's crossed today for East Carolina. He drew a walk, and Alec Burleson drove him in way back in the first inning. 6 innings of shutout ball by the starter, Clayton McGinnis, and now continued by Alex Siegel, the reliever. Love that jersey. Love the look. Classic Wichita script. And that big American A on there. Siegel stares into Cadena, who just helped plate the go-ahead run. This one sit back up the middle, but it pops off the mound right into the glove of Boyer. Over to first. And wow, Brickhouse retired for the 3rd time today. How fortunate.
Now, Boyer played it off the carom, didn't let it handcuff him. He was setting up for a routine ground ball. Played right into the eyes. Just gets it right to the right side of that rubber. And Wichita State fortunate to an extent, too. If that ball's over about 4 inches and hits the pitching rubber, there's no telling where that thing caroms to.
Did pop up in the air a little bit. I think if it would have stayed on the ground up the middle, they'd have never gotten to it. Now Burleson will come to the plate. Had an RBI double in the first. Singled in his last at bat. Today's 2 for 3. Fouls one back towards us.
Boy, it looks like he tweaked something there. Or fouled it off his leg. He took a really big cut at that, and here comes Cliff Godwin and the training staff out to check to him.
I don't know if the bat didn't maybe come around and smash him on the heel or on his ankle. But he definitely came away gingerly from that left-handed batter's box. Burleson walking over by the first base side. Looks like the trainer's going to attend to him. What do we see here, Jeff?
Well, it looks like the right ankle or the knee. Something gave a little bit.
Well, he's such a big part of their game plan. You know, a guy that can pitch, a guy that can play in the outfield.
Maybe getting a cramp. They're giving him something to take. He may have cramped up a little, too. That's a possibility out here. I mean, you don't think of it. You see football players cramp up in the heat, and sometimes a baseball player in the outfield or running the infield, but torque that right calf, and that may be what happened as well. So right there, he looks fine. Then all of a sudden, well, it maybe starts to lock up a little bit.
You know, part of it, Burleson was lifted a couple of innings ago for Gavin Williams. He has not been out in the field, sitting on the bench, then coming up to bat.
Looks like they're getting some fluid, some electrolytes, so that may be what's going on. And he was stretching out that hamstring, too, when he went over there.
Well, Burleson, the sophomore, tough, will head back to the dish. Bases are empty for him with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Siegel was very effective last inning in relief, recorded 3 outs, had to give up an intentional base on balls to the leadoff man Packard, but eventually stranded him on the bases. He's retired 4 of 5 batters. Opposite field hit coming in is Slavens. He'll make the catch for the second out of the inning.
All of a sudden, the game's speeding up for ECU. They've got 4 outs to use here to try to make up just 1 run, but obviously it's a low-scoring affair today, and they've managed just 5 hits.
Really hope everything's all right with Alec Burleson, one of the key pieces on this team and their leading hitter. Had a really nice outing on the hill today, allowed just 1 run. Now Turner Brown will come to the plate, grounded into a double play in his last at-bat. Turner singled in the 4th. Well, started off the inning talking about maybe you bring in your closer for a 2-inning save, and Siegel has looked very sharp up there. I'm sure Coach Butler knows the team. Had a good feeling this was possible against this part of the ECU lineup. Brown just trying to be a base runner. Fastball at 89 miles an hour.
I just think something to be said about a team that had to fight this weekend, win a series over at USF to get into the tournament. That's why I think you see so many times in the big leagues that wild card team come in and make a push.
Brown, second team, All-American. So an all-conference selection. That one finishes outside. Now he works himself ahead in the count. The senior stares on, and the breaking ball falls across to even up the count.
If he retires Brown at 6, 7, and 8, and then Giles the 9-hole header. So again, if you get the out, possibility, and a decent possibility that Wichita State does not have to pitch to the top of the ECU order again.
Time called. There's a veteran move by a veteran player. Get the pitcher out of his rhythm. Brown, standing right over the top of the plate, settles in. Siegel and Wichita State are 1 pitch from getting out of the inning. Don't normally see that, but time called again. Or at least see it given. Siegel comes set and delivers. This one's hit in the air, and it'll go into the glove of Ritter. 1, 2, 3 for Alex Siegel. Wichita State leading by 1, coming back in the 9th inning looking for a little insurance. We're glad you're with us on the American Digital Network, presented by the Air Force Reserve.
Opportunities present themselves every day. Opportunities that move us forward. Opportunities to serve our time in your community. Explore your opportunities in the Air Force Reserve.
Strong in mind, strong in body, strong in school, sport, life.
The grind is 10% physical and 90% mental.
The mind is the power.
The body is a means to jump higher, run faster,
be smarter, and live longer.
There is no weakness when it comes to seeking help.
We are stronger together.
So let's talk about it.
A waterfall starts with 1 drop.
Change starts with 1 person.
The American is dedicated to ending the stigma related to mental health
and promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
9-1-2 coming to the plate for Wichita State. The Shockers leading the Pirates 2-1 here, top of the 9th in Clearwater. The nitty-gritty, this is where it's all come down to, as the wind has changed directions and now is blowing out hard through right and right center field. Evan Voliva back out for his 2nd inning of relief. Gave up an RBI single up the middle to Ross Cadena. Wallace was able to come around and score from second, and that's the difference in our ball game. Only 3 total runs have been scored.
Well, right now we'll see. The pressure's off the Wichita State offense. The real pressure is going to be once we get to the bottom of the ninth. Can they hold off ECU? ECU has managed, hard to believe, just a first inning run in this ball game.
And the new pitcher in the ball game, as they show us, Memphis looking on. The Tigers ready to play against Cincinnati after this one is Ryder Giles. So Giles will come in from third base and will pitch. Giles is ready to work for ECU, making his 16th appearance. All have been relief except for one start. He does have a save and a .96 ERA. Very impressive. 18 2/3 innings pitched for Giles. 12 hits, 5 runs, only 2 were earned with 15 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .174. So the third baseman coming in to try and slow down Wichita State in the top of the ninth.
Bring Barber into play third with Giles moving over. It looks like no other switches.
First pitch swinging by Van Voren, and he's well off the mark there. David today, the right fielder, 0 for 3. A couple of pop outs and a strikeout. Love that side action. This one stays fair. It's trouble. The throw down to first pulls him off the bag. A bunt single in the top of the ninth. Why not? Big smile on the face there for the right fielder.
Well, your 9-hole hitter gets on. Van Voren, who came in at .253 on the year, he'll set the table. Really nice job. Just put it down at third base line. Giles didn't have much of a shot. Momentum going away from first base. You get your 9 guy up there, now the top of the order, including Ritter, who now is on deck. But Boyer's done a good job himself. He's got a pair of hits, a single and a double. You got to watch Van Voren now. He's got 6 stolen bases. Let's see what they got up their sleeve.
Giles back over to first. Ryder listed at 5'11", 167 pounds, and a freshman. Time is called by the home plate umpire. East Carolina also has a pair of right-handers warming over the left field wall. You see the lead there by the right fielder. Here's another bunt. Right side. It'll stay fair. Sacrifice is complete. Runner now in scoring position. And the top of the order, Jordan Boyer, moves the runner over. Nice play.
Second run would be big. They've got a runner in scoring position. One away. You poke this guy in. You got a chance at least for a 1-run cushion. Just banged him out over at first base.
Now Giles will stare in at an all-conference first-teamer in Luke Ritter. He's reached base 3 times today. A pair of walks, a run scored, and a double. Time called, and Ritter, I believe, is going to go down and take the intentional walk.
Third walk of the day. That's the first intentional for Ritter, and a double. So your all-conference selection on 4 out of 5 times. He ends up 1 for 2 with 3 walks.
I don't know if you really want to face Mason O'Brien. He came in one of the hottest hitters on the team down the stretch. Hit .314 in the last 9 games with 11 hits, 3 homers, and 5 RBIs. Now he's got 2 on and only 1 out, and the sun has come out from behind a cloud and brightens up Spectrum Field. Giles checks the runner, deals 81 miles an hour, and it misses the zone.
I would say if you had a right-handed hitter, maybe you go for a double steal, but with a left-handed hitter and O'Brien up there, that gives Washer just a clean shot down to third. So I don't think they're going to try anything, at least right now, with O'Brien at the plate.
Van Voren standing off second. That one falls across. Giles didn't have a lot on that one, but taking all the way is Mason O'Brien. O'Brien, the 3-hole hitter, on the year with 14 runs driven in. He's started 40 games. Paints the corner perfectly, and the count now 1-2. That last pitch registered 71 miles an hour. I don't think O'Brien's choking up here. I think he's got the bat speed to catch up with this one. Got to protect the plate. Sin on the ground. Good pickup. Could be two. Covering over is Giles. Not in time. Interesting to see the replay on that one. But now 2 outs in the inning and a man on third.
Nice relay. Giles did a really nice job to get over there. Gave him a chance at least to get the 3-6-1. Yep. Just got in there, it looked like.
Now Paxton Wallace will come to the plate. He scored the go-ahead run an inning ago.
Well, at this point, if he gets another double, opportunity for Mason O'Brien to score all the way from first. He'll be going on contact.
Can't catch up with that one. Van Voren off third base. Luke Ritter, who runs well, on first. Excuse me, O'Brien on first. Giles stares in at his battery mate. Has what he wants from Washer. This one's going to be a soft liner into right field and a little insurance for the Shockers. An RBI single for Paxton Wallace.
Wallace fights it off the handle, shoots over to right field. So Wallace gets the go-ahead run an inning ago with a leadoff double, drives in an insurance run, 2-run cushion. And again, we're going to see what Wichita State wants to do in the night. If they want to stick with the guy they've got in, or if they want to go to Mitchell Walters, who has 8 saves. A chance now, really good chance to come away with an 8-1 win, an 8-seed, 1-seed win. You see him fight it off the handle again there. There is no chance they're going to make a play at the plate. You've got Washer, Lloyd, and Jenkins, 6, 7, 8 in the Pirate order. They're going to be due up in the bottom of the ninth.
Brady Slavens comes to the plate with 2 on. Wichita State looking for more. Slavens in the ball game today, 0 for 3. He also drew a walk back in the 4th inning. Speedy left fielder stands in the left-handed batter's box. Everybody standing straight up on the ECU defense. Giles evens up the count with 1 out of the zone. Count now 1-1. Four out of 5 batters this inning have reached base against East Carolina. The 1-1. Slavens will offer. Looks like he was out in front of that one, and he falls behind.
Well, able to make the most out of this inning. This is where they failed in the 4th inning when they had 4 straight Shockers reach base. They got a force out at second, and then that play at the plate.
Giles comes set, deals to the plate. It's a little bit outside. Well, we talked about how Wichita State had to battle this past weekend in Tampa just to earn the right to be here. They're looking to clamp down on their 2nd win this year against a top 10 team in East Carolina. That would be quite a feat.
Well, they get a chance to do something to ECU that's only happened, once this year. A team beat them multiple times. UCLA beat them 3 times in that sweep. And if ECU does not come back in this ball game, it will be only the 3rd time this year they've lost back-to-back games. The UCLA series, they lost the series finale to Monmouth, and then a midweek game to Air Force.
This one's pulled down the line, off the tarp, and hanging tough up there is Brady Slavens. Count now 2-2. You can see the momentum growing with the fans for Wichita State behind the first base dugout. They have been loud and proud since their team took this lead.
Well,
one run in the 8th, 1 run in the 9th now.
Advantage of being a lower seed, especially an 8 seed with a chance to pull off a win. The fans from the teams coming in behind you all of a sudden kind of become your fans. So you have 4 fan bases, you got 3 of them usually on your side. Right now, Wichita State over there with the Memphis fans.
O'Brien and Wallace on base. Giles lifts this one into the air. Going back is Jenkins. He's at the track. Off the wall. It's out of here! Brady Slavens blasts one over the right field wall. An unbelievable turn of events here in the 9th inning. 4 runs have come across. First home run of the season for the freshman.
Talk about the unexpected right there. Thought maybe he can dribble one through the infield. Maybe he can shoot one out there. He got up under it, and the wind has shifted at this point of the afternoon. The flags you can see blowing out, and carry that out. Looked like he had it at the warning track and just got it over that 2008 World Championship banner for the Phillies.
There's a special moment for the rookie. Gives his team a lot of breathing room. Now the Shockers up 6-1. Here's one hit on the ground softly. Should be playable for Lloyd. Flips over to first, and that'll be the end of the inning, but not before 4 runs come across and score. It'll be Wichita State's chance to shock the regular season champions when we return in the bottom of the 9th. Thank you to Brady Slavens. We'll be back after this on the American Digital Network.
This is St. Pete Clearwater, home to Clearwater Beach, the #1 beach in the U.S. as chosen by travelers on TripAdvisor. It's not just white sand and Gulf breezes. Beach is an attitude. It's the vibe of whatever brings you joy. Experience the American tropics on Florida's Gulf Coast. Visit stpclearwater.com. Love the beach.
Scores!
3 strikeouts in a row.
Dominance for a 4th straight year. Hueso from 30!
Unbelievable. And be able to celebrate this type of championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
We welcome you back in. Wichita State, bottom of the 9th, trying to close out a historic 8-1 to start things off with our 2019 American Baseball Championships. Jeff, everything kind of came unglued for East Carolina over the last 2 innings.
Well, once they got that 1-run lead in the 8th, you knew it was going to be a little bit tight. Van Voren did what he needed to do. The 9-hole hitter set it up with a single. They executed the sacrifice, the walk. The Wallace hit was big, but who thought Brady Slavens, the freshman, comes in and jacks a 3-run bomb to right field, his first NCAA home run, and it could have been better. And there's so many heroes. You take a look at Slavens, you take a look at the senior pitcher, Clayton McGinnis, and what could have been his last career start. Huge. Now, he'll get a no decision, but heroic effort today by Clayton McGinnis. You also take a look at Wichita State. Luke Ritter was on 4 times, but if you're talking about big players today, I think you got to think either the pitcher in McGinnis or Slavens with that big potential insurance home run.
New pitcher in the ball game for Wichita State. Their leader in saves, Mitchell Walters, who's in his 3rd season, came over from Weatherford College, a native of Katy, Texas. Walters on the year, 8 saves. He's made 24 appearances, all out of the pen, 2 wins, 3 losses with an ERA just over 4 in 33 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 29 hits, 18 runs, 15 were earned. He has struck out 42 and allowed just 16 walks. Opponents are hitting .228 against him. A 5-run deficit for the league champions. Can they erase it here in the bottom of the 9th? Or will Wichita State pull the upset? Jake Washer will lead things off. This pitch is outside, 90 miles an hour for ball 1.
Tell you, is going to come kind of the unsung hero in this guy now in this game. All of a sudden, Ross Cadena, who's going to get if it ends up with the score, the game-winning RBI with that single that drove in Wallace an inning ago. But he's had a really nice game behind the plate and at the plate this afternoon. And also probably the dirtiest uniform So the manager for Wichita State, instead of enjoying the rest of the afternoon and the evening before the off day, he'll have to tough duty right there as you see Ross Cadena, the catcher. He's got it on the front and the back. He's been playing hard this afternoon.
Talking with Mitchell Walters, who's tied for 5th in the American with 8 saves on the year. Washer in today's ball game 0 for 3. Hit the ball hard, but it's been right at somebody. The redshirt junior stands back in. You can't get them all back with one swing. Right now they just need base runners. Here's the 2-0. Called strike 1.
Yeah, they're going to have a really big inning, a 5-run inning. They've had 16 big innings this year. They're 15-1 when they do that. That's 4 more runs in an inning. But at the bottom of this lineup doesn't set things up for you. You can't get back to the top of the order. You still got a way to go to get to Packard.
That one's out of here. No doubt about it. A bomb from Jake Washer off the back wall of the bullpen. 90 miles an hour and redirected in a hurry. So a couple of home runs now in the 9th inning. One by Wichita State. And here's one to answer by Jake Washer and the Pirates. It's now a 6-2 ball game.
One more runner, they'll get to the top of the order, and that was an emphatic, well, let me get one to start things off with. Letter high on the inside. Washer was sitting on it.
Washer picks up his 11th home run in 2019. Now Mitchell Walters will have to reset against Brady Lloyd. That one comes across 76 miles an hour. Called strike 1. In 33 2/3 innings pitched, that is the first home run that Walters has given up all year. Walters with 2 wins, 3 losses. That one got out of here in a hurry. Lloyd singled in his last 2 at-bats. Today's 2 for 3. Infield playing him pretty straight up. Squares to bunt. Right, left side. It'll be picked up. Wallace can't get it over there in time. So a bunt single. Back-to-back runners on for the Pirates.
Now you see how big Brady Slavens' 3-run homer is. Would have been a 1-run game. He gets that 3-run homer. Now he got just a little bit more room to work with. But Wichita State can't like the way the inning started off. Not so much the home run now, but single, and ECU trying to find ways to get guys on, try to extend this game.
Walters has been so successful this year, but sometimes you come on to a foreign mound and things just, you know, the push off or something not exactly to your liking, and he just doesn't look comfortable up there. Has had some good velocity. Time called, and now coming back is Cadena.
Right now, Bryant Packard, 3 batters away, is the potential tying run in this ball game.
Wichita State with a righty and a lefty up. I'm going to have to find out who number 32 is because we don't have that on our roster. Sometimes it's a matter of sharing jerseys when you get down to the tournament. Chandler Jenkins looking on. Good block behind the plate by Cadena. Could be Jacob Lindemann. Runner standing off first base with nobody out. Mitchell Walters comes set. 1-0 swinging down the line, left field. This will be out of play. There's the man of the hour, Slavens, heading back into left field. No better time for your first career home run at the collegiate level. Lloyd runs well, standing over off first. Late on the fastball again. And Walters looks to have settled in a little bit. That last pitch, his fastest of the outing, 92 miles an hour. Stares in at Cadena. He's ready to work. Lloyd with a pretty conservative lead off of first. Can't make any mistakes here, trailing by 5. Get 4. This one's popped into the air. Long run coming. And this one will drop in front of Catsfay. Back-to-back-to-back hits for East Carolina here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Well, just dumped that one into center field. I don't know if Catsfay held up because he thought Boyer was going to come back out. It was a long way to go for Catsfay, but Boyer started out initially, and then I think Catsfay just pulled up because he
don't want to overrun it. Yeah, got a guy on second.
Knew he wouldn't have a chance to catch it. Like you said, that ball bounces behind you, you're in real trouble. The first 3 Pirates reach base, and again, the tying run is now on deck.
That'll bring the pitcher from the top of the inning, Ryder Giles, back to the plate. Giles today has dropped a sacrifice bunt. He's 0 for 2.
I mean, now all of a sudden in the back of your head, if you're in the first base dugout, you're thinking, wow, we're just 3 batters away from Brickhouse and Burleson getting up to the plate.
Four spots in the East Carolina offense without a hit today. Giles is one of them. Looking to come through here, help his own cause. Good zip on that fastball, but it's a little low. And he works his way ahead in the count, 2-0.
Well, they're going to the pen.
They just don't like what they see from Walters out there today. I don't know if he ever really got comfortable. With a 4-run lead and 2 on, Coach Butler does not want to have a problem here, so we'll have a new arm coming into the ballgame. It'll be the 3rd reliever of the afternoon for the Shockers. We'll tell you all about it when we return here on the American Digital Network.
We all dream about our next vacation, but some of us turn those dreams into action. The bookers, the doers, they hit that confirmation button and let's goers. Because bookers know that the perfect place to stay is right there for the booking. Be a booker at Booking.com, the world's #1 choice for booking accommodations.
More than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American, powered by determination.
Are you mom? Get set. Let's go. It goes. Get rally. Get rally. Get rally. It's get rally.
It's all right, huh?
NBA superstar.
Gatorade Zero. All the electrolytes, zero sugar. Get more out of zero.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle, a big save, a clutch hit,
or a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
There is power in the sportsmanship that is displayed across the American.
Power is respecting opponents,
Officials,
student athletes,
Coaches and team representatives.
power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
profanities, or other improper actions while at the game.
The American.
Power for life.
The American, power for life.
The American,
Power for life.
Bottom of the 9th, East Carolina has already scratched 1 run across and cut the lead to 4. They trail Wichita State 6-2 in our opening round game. Back-to-back-to-back hits to get the inning started. That prompted the pitching change. The new man on the hill is a 6'4 sophomore in Jacob Lindemann.
1-0, 12 outings, no saves, 5.56 ERA, 11 1/3 innings, 12 hits, 9 runs, 7 earned, 8 walks, 11 strikeouts, 267 average against, 3 wild pitches. He has not hit a batter this season.
The tying run currently stands on deck in Bryant Packard. Giles, the reliever, at the plate right now. Today, he's 0 for 2. He's ahead in the count, 3-0. Giles on the season, a .250 hitter coming in with 22 runs driven in. Finally sees a strike, and he takes it all the way. Brady Lloyd standing off second base. Chandler Jenkins on first. Jenkins will not be held on. Giles won't offer at that one, and the count evens. 92 miles an hour by the big, tall right-hander.
Cliff Godwin wants to talk to him again. This is something Cliff Godwin does. You don't see a lot of teams do it. He'll call timeout or two every now and then a game, bring a hitter down, talk to him mid-count.
For a lot of teams, this would be an insurmountable task, Jeff. Score 4 runs in the bottom of the ninth. But with an offense like this and the fact that you're about to flip the lineup over and nobody is out, East Carolina fans and this team certainly have faith that it can be done.
Well, especially when you have Brookhouse 2 batters away now. You'll have Worrell in between them.
Giles offers it. This one hits it a long way into center field. Catsby goes back, makes the catch, and Lloyd will tag up between second and third. Now a runner in scoring position. Off third.
Well, most important thing, you have an out. You have a chance here, double play, get in the ball game. You take another fly out, even if the run scores, doesn't matter at this point. You just want to log the outs.
Lindemann ready to work now to the top of the order, and Bryant Packard, who's received back-to-back intentional walks. Today he's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Packard looking for his first hit of the tournament. Left-hander stares in. Ready for his first offering. A couple of big guys doing battle. 6'4" Lindemann, 6'3" Packard. Cadena sends out the signals. Now they got what they want. 0-1. Little breaking ball. Good pickup there by Packard, but he sends it foul. 78 miles an hour. Packard, one of 9 all-conference performers for East Carolina. I think it's fair to call that an embarrassment of riches. Looks like they brought in an extra outfielder here at Spectrum.
We've got Burleson, who made the first and the second team.
The 0-2. Called strike 3, and Packard is frozen. Wichita State is 1 out away from shocking the rest of the conference.
Just froze him at the knees. You at least wanted him to put the ball in play, but hey, it is better than a double play. So you'd rather take called strike 3 than to swing at that, roll it over, as you see him go back to the dugout now as he got it at the knees. Now Worrell, who came in to play center back in the 6th inning, just his second plate appearance. He struck out back in the 7th. And let's see, they may be pinch hitting for him, and it is going to be Connor Norby to pinch hit.
So Connor Norby will come in with 2 on and 2 outs, his team trailing by 4. This one's a little bit low. How busy has Cadena been behind the plate today? Whether working with McGinnis, the starter, Siegel, Walters, now Lindemann, blocking everything.
Norby 211, his 19th game. He's had 1 start. He does have a home run, 5 driven in this year.
Norby won't offer at that one. Norby, the freshman out of Kernersville, North Carolina. Believe that was the same hometown for former national champion with LSU, Tyler Hanover. So they produced some talent coming out of there. Went to East Forsyth High School. Lindemann has fallen behind in the count. The 2-1 to Norby. He's worked this thing 3-1. I'm thinking you're going to see a strike here to Norby. Otherwise, you're going to bring up Brickhouse with the bases jacked.
Yeah, Worrell.
One swing of the bat can tie this thing up.
Brother Norby, his job, not to drive in a run, just extend the inning, one more batter.
Nice job there by Norby, the freshman, to call time. Frustrate the pitcher a little bit. Lloyd standing off third base. Chandler Jenkins standing on first. Lindemann walks in. The bases are loaded for last year's most outstanding player, Spencer Brickhouse.
We've got a chance now. You got the guy up there you wanted with 2 outs. It's a chance here for the junior. We have 12 home runs. We already saw the ball fly out with Slavens in the top of the inning, with the wind now blowing out the right field. Brickhouse just wants to elevate one in the air to right field.
Wichita State fans probably chewing through what's left of their fingernails, hoping that Brickhouse does not get one to hit here.
That's the one thing, if you're an 8 seed trying to pull off the upset on the day one, it's never going to be easy, even if you think, well, you're up 6-1 at that point.
Brickhouse lays off this one. It cuts inside at 79 miles an hour for ball 1. He walked and scored the first run of the game back in the first inning. But Brickhouse is 0 for 3 since. Fastball with good zip, 93 miles an hour there. And that'll even the count 1-1.
Well, they'll give up a single and a pair of runs. The outfield back all the way around from Slavens to Cadsby to Van Voren from left to right. Van Voren camped out about 10 feet in front of the warning track in right field.
Shockers won't hold the runners on. The 1-1. He offers it this one, hit on the ground. Ritter can get the win with the throw to first, and they've done it. The 8 has shocked the 1. Wichita State with a 6-2 victory. They become the first American team to beat the league champs twice in 2019.
Impressive win today by Wichita State. They got in a big pitcher's duel between Clayton McGinnis and Alec Burleson. McGinnis, in what could have been his last college start, very, very solid, coming off the complete game win on May 11th against ECU. And Wichita State, Garrett, you didn't know if they kept missing opportunities, if that was the last best chance they would have. But what a ninth inning for Wichita State, and what a win on day one.
Their fans are excited here in Clearwater. They live to play another day. East Carolina heading to a game tomorrow. We'll be back with more to wrap up the postgame here with the Shockers on top 6-2 here on the American Digital Network.
Opportunities present themselves every day. Opportunities that move us forward. Opportunities to serve our time in your community. Explore your opportunities in the Air Force Reserve.
Strong in mind, strong in body, strong in school, sport, life.
The grind is 10% physical and 90% mental.
The mind is the power.
The body is a means to jump higher, run faster,
be smarter, and live longer.
There is no weakness when it comes to seeking help.
We are stronger together. So let's talk about it.
A waterfall starts with one drop.
Change starts with one person.
The American is dedicated to ending the stigma related to mental health
and promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Winners of 3 of their last 4 conference ball games, and a big statement win here to get our first day started. Wichita State up 6-2 over East Carolina. Haley Outen is with the winning coach.
Coach, as an 8 seed in this tournament, to come out in game 1 and defeat a top 10 team in the country and a number 1 seed in ECU, where's the confidence level out of this team?
Really big. I mean, it's a big win for us. We played them 2 weekends ago. I think that was an advantage for us and them. And Clayton McGinnis was the key to the game today, our starting pitcher. He pitched against East Carolina 2 weeks ago. We won 3-1, and he had great success today. Kind of tough in the 9th inning there with the bases loaded. We had to take out Walters, bring in Lindemann. He did a great job. Siegel came in to face the left-handers. And Slavens, who's really a high school senior that graduated early, hit his first home run of the year. So if you keep playing, great things happen, and the Shockers had a good day today.
You mentioned that in your last time out against ECU, your team wasn't exactly able to come up with hits at the right time. Why were they able to do that today?
Well, Slavens gets the big fly, and, Wallace leads off with a double. Van Vern in the 9th inning lays down a drag bunt. And I think the 4 games we've played East Carolina, I probably shouldn't say it, I think we're like 4 for 40 with runners in scoring position in the dugout. I said the percentages are on our side. We have to get a timely hit eventually. So East Carolina really good. They're 42-14. National seed, hopefully out of our conference, and to beat them 2 out of 4 is really big.
On to the winner's side of the bracket, which means a day off tomorrow. How does this set your team up to take on UConn on Thursday?
UConn's really good. I'm sure we'll face Fioli, the star left-handed pitcher that they have. We played them 3 tight games up at UConn in the AA Park, and we enjoyed the atmosphere there. And UConn's good year in, year out, and we're 1-0. And in 2 years, I've never stepped foot on the beach. I'm going to go to the beach tonight for the first time and get ready to play UConn.
All right, thanks, Coach. Go enjoy yourself.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Wow, what a great interview. Bring your flip-flops, maybe some suntan lotion, Coach. Congratulations. A win today for Wichita State. 6 runs on 12 hits, 1 error. 2 runs on 8 hits for East Carolina. 2 errors by the Pirates. Pretty impressive victory. Let's go down onto the field for more with Haley.
Clayton, a week ago, your team was fighting for a spot just to play in this tournament, and now you're on to the winner's bracket, defeating a 1 seed. Why was this group able to step up in a really tough situation here in the postseason?
We all have just came together so much here at the end of the season, and we have a lot of guys that this might be it for them, and everyone's playing for each other and understanding that if one person doesn't get the job done, then the next person up needs to get it done, and we've just taken that on, and it's been unreal in the past couple games.
Yeah, you mentioned not knowing when this season might come to an end, and as a senior yourself, taking the mound today, how focused were you for this game?
Obviously you're pretty locked in. You just know that every pitch matters and that every pitch counts, so you make the most of it, and you don't know when you're going to get, the coach is going to come out and take you out, so you try and put everything you've got into every single pitch. So,
ECU's been one of the top teams in the country all season long, and last time out against ECU, you were able to pitch 9 innings. Today, just over 6. What is it about this matchup that puts you at your best?
I don't know what it is about them, but I just try and locate all my pitches and keep a steady mix, and it seems to work out. The coach has been doing a great job calling pitches, and it's just been a lot of fun.
All right, thanks a lot. Congratulations. We'll see you Thursday.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, you see the man that helped put the victory in the win column. The win today goes to Alex Siegel, the save for Lindemann, his first of the year, and unfortunately a loss for Gavin Williams. But a great game played out here for the 3rd season in a row. The 8 shocks the 1, this time courtesy of Wichita State, winning 6-2 over East Carolina, the regular season and defending tournament champions. For Jeff Brightwell and Haley Outen, I'm Garrett Walford. Thanks for joining us today. Jeff Sharon and I will come up next with a great matchup between Memphis and Cincinnati, the 7 versus the 2. Stay with us right here on the American Digital Network. These are the American Baseball Championships presented by the Air Force Reserve.